Hello and welcome to Moscow for the IFSC World Championships. Today it's the turn of the men to enter onto the stage and take part in the semi-finals. And that is our bouldering wall. My name is Matt Groom and I'm joined by Alex Waterhouse from Team GB. Alex, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm excited to be here. We were just talking about the fact we did this yesterday with the women and we're back again. It's another day.
Straight back in. Yeah, finals last night were a good show. Hoping for more today.
Exactly. And that is our bouldering wall as we check out the dimensions on it. The athletes will be climbing on 4 boulders on that. 20 athletes out tonight. 20 athletes out this morning, trying to go for 6 finals places. Alex, that's our stadium. Look, it's a special place. When you walk in, there's this atmosphere in this place, isn't there?
Yeah, what a stadium! Like, big crowd, good light show. Yesterday they got us going with a big old bit of a production at the beginning and a cracking set of boulders. So it looks good up there. Hopefully those guys have a good time.
Exactly. And look, your Team GB, there's 3 Great Britain athletes in this semi-final, which is pretty unique.
Yeah, what a performance from the GB guys. I wish I was out there with them and make it 4, but maybe next time. I think this is the first time we've had 3 British men in the final since 2012, or semi-final since 2012. Absolutely sensational. It really is good to see the next generation of British climbers coming through.
Yeah, it is good. And I told you to be as unbiased as possible. Please, you just say whatever you want about Team GP.
Yeah.
No, as biased as possible.
As biased as possible. Yeah,
be biased.
I am being unbiased. That's not happening.
No, you be biased.
Not a chance.
Good. But we were on the mats earlier checking out these routes. The first thing we were both thinking was this is a hard set, or looks like it.
It looks pretty stern out there. It's really hard to tell before you actually get on the boulders, but just pull on the start positions and what we can feel from the ground. I think that it's going to be a pretty low top final. Happily be proven wrong though. And see some good performances out there.
Yeah, well, we've got 4 boulders, a few slabs in there, a few quite dynamic moves. That isn't a crack, all you crack aficionados out there. We don't think it is, certainly not for the hands. Maybe a sort of a toe jam in there perhaps, but we'll see. Horrible top out to that boulder.
Yeah, really hard top hold. It looks like you are probably going to have to jam your foot in there, but it's really flared, so it's going to be hard with the hands. Then we are looking at boulder number 2 there. Proper pressy, pretty tenuous, bad feet. It's going to be standing on that volume and using it for the hands. These volumes aren't something that we see a lot of on the World Cup Tour. They're a Russian brand, but they look like they have a good texture, so it should be interesting.
Something I've seen more and more in these competitions is route setters sort of playing with volumes and holds and creating new things, because athletes get used to certain holds, don't they? You practice on them, you use them, and what we're seeing here is route setters when we're creating new holds, just to unsettle perhaps a little bit.
Yeah, so we work on what we see. So in the off-season, you'll go away and you train on what you saw last year. So it's the route setter's job to surprise us and give us good moments as well as you guys. So they'll do their best to make something new that we haven't seen before. Because if you can surprise somebody, then they'll fall off. And that's exactly what the route setters are looking for.
That is true. Look, that's one of the holds I'm kind of talking about, the top left of your screen. The route setters have covered a bit of the volume with that, but they've just sort of wodged together a load of holds to create something I've never seen before, which is interesting. Right, let's chat about the rules. If you are a bouldering sort of aficionado and you know all this, just bear with me for a second, because we do have a lot of new people to our sport at the moment. The aim of the bouldering is to get from the bottom of the wall to the top of the wall, and about in the middle of each boulder there's a zone hold. The best score is to top out the route, to finish at the top of the wall. If you get the zone, though, that's the next best score along the way. You start at the bottom, and there's 4 blue lines. One line representing a limb. You can see their start with a blue line on it. That's the zone in the middle. And the rest of the rules, well, we'll go through that as we go along. Did I cover that pretty much? Is that all right?
There or thereabouts.
There or thereabouts, yeah. It is a complicated sport. It seems simple, but there are lots of little things, interesting, fascinating details, which we'll go through. And there is Nimrod Marcus, out first from Israel.
Yeah, he's out for this first boulder, looking like a pretty tough pull-on. Followed by some really shouldery climbing. Really poor jib up at the top there. That's going to be interesting to see how people get on with that.
The women started off, if I remember rightly, with a slab yesterday, and I was talking to Hannah Moyle, who's in the box, and she was saying how that's quite a difficult way to start a competition. You almost want something physical because you're all hyped up.
Yeah, climbing on something really tenuous when you haven't. But basically, the first time you fall is a pretty big relief in a round, and to come out of a slab where you've really got to be chill and precise. It's pretty hard. Whereas this, where you can just pull, it's a lot easier to come out to. And he's looking good on his first go here.
He is straight into the zone for him, but this is a bit of a...
Whoa, and that's the terrible jib I was talking about. He's just held that with one hand.
Yeah, it's got a dual texture surface on the top of that, we think, under there with the left hand, so you've got to be very precise. We think it's dual text. It was hard to tell from the ground.
There's definitely a dual text strip down the middle, but it's hard to tell what it's like at the back. He's making it look pretty good, but that is a small hole in there.
Well, he's one move away from this top to start off with. He'd love to get off the start with a flash. Flash is when you climb the boulder first time, and he's
big power screech.
He's on the final move. All right. Well,
what a start!
Maybe we've misread this. Maybe
he's giving it that.
Is
perfect.
Team Israel, great presence here on the World Cup circuit. All right, so one climber in, one flash.
Well, there you go. Hard semi-final.
Yeah,
it's been
what were we talking
proven
about?
immediately.
I mean,
what
Alex,
a move.
That was a move. I mean, he might just be on form. Look, we've seen it happen before. An athlete comes out, they climb something first go, you think, oh my goodness, it's an easy set, and then everyone else fails on it. So we'll see.
20th place into the semi-finals is the easiest position to be in. Nothing to lose. You come out with no expectations. The only way is up. It's an interesting mental headspace.
We should explain that because the athletes out first, they qualified in last position for the semi-final. So Kogoro Fuji, with 5 tops yesterday, he's in first position, so he'll be our final athlete out. Whereas Nimrod Marcus, he was in last for this. But there is a bit of an advantage, isn't there? Because, I mean, you're on fresh holds, no one else has touched them, and as you said, there's no pressure down early on.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a chiller atmosphere at the start of the final. The mats get quite a lot busier, and everything feels a bit more high pressure. And to come out and see people climbing on the boulders ahead of you, whether that's people topping or not, both of those are hard things to deal with. So for him to come out and be the first on a boulder, he doesn't know how people are getting on it, then that's definitely an advantage in my book.
Absolutely. Well, we're just waiting a little bit until the time runs out. 2 minutes to go on this one. So, Alex, let's use this time to talk about your your qualifying round yesterday. How did it go out there for you? Not the best, obviously. You're here with me.
A close second is commentating, of course. So this is my first season of international comps. Competed out in Salt Lake. Was lucky enough to make my first semi-final and had a pretty good performance out there. But I've not figured it out yet. There's still a lot to learn. Little stuff like the fact that the boulders didn't start on the left and work towards the right. I came out for my second boulder, stood in front of the third one for about 30 seconds thinking there's somebody on my boulder. It was only when I was shouted to run halfway across the stage to go and find the slab that I realised what had happened. And it feels like a very new game. Like, I've competed for a long time, but the senior international circuit is a whole different beast. So I'm still out there and learning, but hopefully next time I'll be in the semi-final.
Absolutely. Well, that's something I've heard a lot, actually, is that step up from the youth into the seniors is hard. And, we've got Hamish MacArthur, for example, double gold medalist in the youth competition in Voronezh, now coming here, and clearly just using that momentum and form.
Yeah, what a year he's on. He's already had a big result this year, so he's coming in here again with no pressure. But for his first senior world championships and first senior comp, to come out and make the semis in 7th place, that's a great start.
Yeah, he's great. He was with me in Chamonix, Team GB. So yeah, we've got 20 athletes who have qualified to the semi-finals. We're looking for just 6 into the finals tonight. And flashes like Nimrod Marcus just did are important. A flash is when you climb it first time, because attempts will count. If everyone gets the same score, it goes down to the attempts to the top of the boulder. So the quicker you can climb it, the better. And Alex, I did this exercise the other day where I was being filmed and I went to a climbing wall and I climbed a boulder within my grade, but within a 4-minute time, right? I was awful. Couldn't do it because the time, it's a different beast, isn't it, when you've got a clock on you?
Yeah, the time is such a big factor. These boulders, if we were to climb them in the gym, we would probably not find them that hard. If we could session with our friends, we knew what to do, you could have as many attempts as you want, you could pull on halfway through the boulder. They're starting from the ground. 4 minutes on a powerful boulder or 5 minutes on a powerful boulder, you've got maybe 3 goes. To do something within 3 goes when you have to start and do the hard moves at the bottom every time is such a big undertaking. And then reading it without having any knowledge of what's going on. He's coming out and this is the first time he's ever seen this boulder. And so he's got to spend 10, 15 seconds of that time brushing, looking where all the holds are, and then he's got to take the time to figure out a sequence. It's tough. But he's making it work out there as well, straight to the zone.
Exactly. We know this is flashable, but that's this bad hold. Screw on that jib feature in there. So Zan comes down, has another little look. Yeah, because in the finals, you know, you get an observation period. You get 2 minutes to look at that boulder. Obviously, it's sometimes more complex, but just walking out completely fresh with all those nerves. Oh, a nasty fall as well.
Splash down.
He just hit his head with his knee there. Has he cut himself? I'm trying to have a little look on his head. Maybe not. He's got a scratch on his cheek, perhaps, or something else, but nasty fall there.
Yeah, he's got to reset from that and get back on.
So he'll take a moment, rubbing his leg a little bit. Got the zone, and you can see that zone indicated by the graphic down on the left. It's halfway filled for the zone. It will get fully filled up if he gets to top. And we will keep you updated with the leaderboard, but you can also download the free IFSC app, and that constantly updates itself, so it's a good way of keeping track of all the action. Oh, what a move.
Good there, falling out of the shoulders. Looking at the finish now.
So looking for sort of a knee bar in there, but it's hard with the position of the hand.
There it is, on the match.
And he controls it. And control is something, isn't it? Because you can't just slap at that top hold.
Yeah, especially in a tenuous and powerful position like that, you've really got to pull through one hand and then touch the other to it. That's a great start for him, and he's psyched.
Yeah, 2 out of 2 athletes have tops. He'll move into second place because of that attempts rule. So although he climbed the boulder, he took more attempts than Nimrod Marcus.
Great move.
Oh, legs swinging out.
Paddle in.
Powerful stuff once again from Team Slovenia. Mikhail Pakuliraz is out next. Yeah, not a lot on that final hold as well.
Yeah, nice toe hook to come in for the match there.
Okay, so we know Boulder 1 is certainly climbable.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to need, but well, I mean, we can say after 2 athletes, it looks like you're going to need Boulder 1 for the final.
Yeah, and that puts pressure on, doesn't it? Because, look, these athletes are waiting back. They're not meant to know what's going on. However, when someone comes back after, 2 minutes compared to 5, you know there's going to be some tops.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to tell what's happening out the front. It's hard to tell the specifics, but you know if there's nobody out after the first 2 climbers, then that first boulder's getting done, and you're going to come out with some pressure, which is why these guys have maybe a bit of an advantage over the future competitors.
Yeah, because by the time it gets Kokofuji, imagine everyone has climbed that boulder. I mean, that is intense for him.
I don't know how much that will phase him, but
yeah, that's true. That is true. The man is unflappable. Yeah, some strong athletes here tonight. We are missing a few. Some athletes deciding not to compete who you'd usually see, perhaps. Some Olympians not doing it, which I completely understand. Like, I couldn't quite believe that Olympians are here anyway. If I'd done a World Cup season and the Olympics, I'd be on a beach with a cocktail.
It has been a tough year for those guys, especially with all the delays and stops and starts and cancellations, and it's a topsy-turvy sport to be. It's a topsy-turvy time to be in the sport. So those guys are going to be pretty tired by now, and I think it's probably a good decision for a lot of those to take a rest.
Absolutely. I'm thinking of Alberto Hines Lopez, gold medal. That man competed at, I saw him at every event. He was at Briançon when no one else really was.
Yeah, that was a really interesting decision. It obviously paid off for him. Most of the other Olympians, it looked like they did maybe the first half of the European lead season, and then most of them travelled straight to Tokyo or maybe back home to train beforehand. Alberto smashed on right to the end, about 2 weeks, I think, before the competition.
I think even less than that, yeah.
It really wasn't very long.
Yeah.
And after 4 weeks on the road, he must have been knackered.
Yeah.
So to go back, get recovered, and then to smash out a gold medal, what a performance. Fantastic.
I know he was climbing in Briançon on one of the days where the Slovenian time was flying to Tokyo. It was that close for him. Pretty incredible. But there is Mikhail coming out onto the stage. See what he can do. And we will have 2 athletes climbing now. Things start to ramp up a little bit in the semi-finals. And very soon we'll have 4 athletes out on stage on 4 different boulders. Now, me and Alex, although we're highly competent production members, we're not pressing the buttons for the camera angles, so we will call the action as we see it, and we'll also keep an eye on what's going on around your screen.
So like we were talking about, they come out, and even though they have 5 minutes, they'll spend the first minute or so reading and brushing the boulder. One of the changes with the COVID restrictions is that we don't have brushes anymore, so we have a brush stick and we have to do that ourselves. It means that we've got even less time to climb, essentially. But it's so essential to prepare the boulder before you get on. Especially on something like this where it relies on poor feet and slippery hands.
I want to ask you more about that, actually, so I've got a question. But first of all, let's see Nimrod Marcus on his second boulder. It flashed the first one.
So our first look at this boulder. Whoa. So that zone really, so there's a lot of those Rock City edges macros. That's one of the poor ones. So to come into it as a double undercut like that without all the weight over your feet is going to be really hard.
Michael is coming into this very climbable boulder number 1. That was his flash, didn't make it. Yeah, about the brushing, because in the semi-finals, there are no brushes. They have to do it themselves, I get that. In the finals, though, there's someone who brushes it between the rounds. The athletes will come out and re-brush it. Why is that? Because it's kind of been amazing me in the last couple of days.
So I think that it's very hard if you're not really in tune with what you're going to have to do on the boulder to brush the right bits and with the right intensity. I know that I like to come out and brush again, regardless of how it's been brushed. So I know that where I want to hold it is going to be in prime condition. And here we're seeing Nimrod. He's past the zone. He's up into the top section, pressing out.
Yeah, and we couldn't quite work this out, could we? We were trying to work out why there's 2 of those half-moon dishes and exactly what the moves are.
Yeah, you're going to have to really rely on that feet, and then that slot is very small. And here he is, 2 tops. Looking like a great round.
Just casually doing pull-ups as well, why not? I do genuinely think there should be style points in bowling. I really do.
It would definitely be an improvement.
Yeah. Mikel now, and he's nearing the top as well. We've seen this a lot, going up, coming down, trying to work out this move, and now he's got the right hand locked in, brings the right toe in, trying to work. How long can he stay in this position?
He's trying hard. That left foot just looks like it's not quite enough on the hold enough. Looks like maybe he wants to stand on the top or try and make this knee bar work.
It's a long way though, isn't it, if you're stretching up off that knee.
Yeah, might be good to get the left hand up, but to match with the knee is going to be really hard. You're going to have to really rely on it.
This is going to be burning him out as well, and of course, if it doesn't go for him in this round, he's going to have to come down, recover, and then get back on, and time, as you can see, ticking down.
Just a minute and 45 seconds left.
There we go. So he's going to have to reassess this one a little bit.
He was on that boulder for a long time.
When you're in that position, I mean, he tried almost everywhere there was to do that boulder. How do you pick yourself up again? Because it's not like a trick he's going to have to try to find. He just needs to do the move better.
Just got to do the move better. God, climbing's easy, isn't it?
It's simple. It's certainly simple up here when I'm looking down at it.
So I think that he's probably got a good lay of the land now. He's tried all of the different methods. He's going to have to pick one. If he goes up there again and hesitates like he did that time, it's going to be tough. He's going to have to go back on, probably about 35, 40 seconds remaining, pick a method and make it happen first time.
Okay, so just commit to one way and go for it.
Yeah, hopefully he's learned enough that he knows what he wants to do. He knows that the knee bar probably doesn't work. He knows that maybe reaching up with the left hand might not work. It looks like the other athletes have gone up with the right and then come into left, come into match with the left. It looks like you can put a lot more pressure through the top of that left foot there.
You were mentioning how you're fairly new to the senior sort of style side of competitions. How much are you learning every time? Because every time you see these boulders, you just glean a little bit of information that you store for later on.
Yeah, that's basically my whole goal this year is to learn more about what it takes to be the best. And which is why watching a semi-final like this, I really try and analyze and understand what these guys are doing differently to me to be making it consistently and making it to the final. It's really hard to store that learning in between the comps, so you can come and do it and you sort of learn bits and bobs, but I think to be the best you're really going to have to analyse that stuff and write it down and go back to it all afterwards to learn as quickly as possible.
That's why you're here, you can bring all this to us. And we just saw Mikel not climbing that boulder, he leaves.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for him after the previous 2 have got tops there.
Gregor Vazonik is up next. What a personality he is. He was joking with me on the bus in this morning. And I suggested swapping roles to him. But then his coach informed me that I wasn't good enough to be on the Slovenian team, which I frankly find just a bit harsh. I try my best at it. But Gregor is such an experienced athlete, and it's so good to see him back.
And especially after Sam getting that done, I'm sure he'll know that this is doable.
Yeah, he didn't make semis in Innsbruck or in Salt Lake, or the second Salt Lake, so looking for a bit of consistency, but he did make the finals in the first Salt Lake, so I think he can definitely do it. And there is his teammate Zam
trying hard. It's good to see those guys out together on the mats there. I know they're rooming in the hotel together. They've taken some nice pictures in the bathrobes out on the balcony.
I saw that.
So I'm sure those guys will be psyched to be climbing together.
Gregor getting married as well recently. Congratulations to you, sir. So, shake of the head. This is something certainly within his remit, his talent, his ability. Boulder should suit him.
They're looking really strong on that first section. You can see that jib there inside of the big sloper. Goes left hand, really nice.
Right, so he's on the final move now. This is the part that shut down Mikael just now.
He goes with the right hand.
Oh, strength from him, using all his
trying
lats.
really hard.
And now he's got to work out the feet though.
Yeah, gets that back toe. Oh, just not there.
No control on that top, that's why it won't count. Can't just snatch at it. So Gregor will have to go again.
Down into that zone undercut.
It works all of your body, this, doesn't it? You've got your biceps in play, your legs.
It looks like a slab, but I don't think it climbs like one.
Exactly, it's another slab that isn't a slab. We had this in the women's comp as well.
It's really difficult for the root sets. How do they add that physical level into low-angle boulders? They seem to be doing a pretty good job of it.
It has been a good set so far. We were a little bit worried that they might have undercooked it, made it a bit too easy, but I think Nimrod Marcus might just be on his stunning form.
I think he's in top shape. Yeah, so Nimrod actually made the switch into setting for the European Cup out in Warsaw. No, Krakow. I went to this comp and I didn't know where it was. Out in Krakow, put together a really stellar set. So maybe he's learned a little bit from the root setting side and is bringing that into a semi-final performance. Zam back on the wall.
Yeah, he's rocking out to the left now and into these big pressy moves to the dish above his head. And now there's really only one move after that. He brings his right hand to a nasty crimp. There are some of the women that have been competing yesterday, so do go back and watch that, and please go and watch the paraclimbing because it's just amazing, basically. I can't sell it enough. It's just, I'm addicted to paraclimbing. I love speaking about it, and that is live on the IFSC YouTube channel, so go check that out. Right, Gregor's got 1:17. He's locked in the beta for this section. It's just that final match.
Yeah, so it looks like he's come off of that jib and just onto the hold. So the jib must be pretty bad, even though they're jumping to it with one hand.
Sorry, I do apologize. Just explain jib quickly to people who don't know jibs.
Jib generally refers to like a small screw-on hold. Quite often we have foot jibs, so a little screw-on on a volume normally, or on the wall. This is a jib screwed inside of a handhold. Make it a little bit better. But we talked about that earlier, saying it might be a little dual-tex jib inside of that they cross over and jump to. Looks like it does have texture on the top. It's just a dual-tex strip down the middle that we couldn't quite see from the ground.
Presumably that jib will become more and more chalky and harder to see that slipperier surface on it. 20 seconds to go, neither athlete getting there at the moment. Gregor changed his beta last time, went up with the left instead of the right. He was closer with the right.
Yeah, so you can see he's come off of that jib now onto the hold. Up with the right hand. He's been in this position before. Gets the back toe. Oh, not quite controlled.
No, it's not going to count. He knows it. He doesn't even look towards the judges. So, Gregor Vazonik doesn't make Boulder 1. He'll have to go back and just compose himself.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to recover from. He'll have to take 5 minutes to reset.
There is that man we were chatting about earlier, who is in some form. 2 out of 2 so far for him in just 3 attempts. And Alex, tell me about men's 3, because it's got an interesting start with that little handhold under the volume, or maybe your foot, we don't really know yet.
Yeah, it looks like there's you come out of that start position up to a small pinchy crimp, and then into a really bad sloper, and then some meaty climbing above, as you can see, he's just pulling there. So we watched Tomaki.
Yeah, Tomaki coming out from Team Japan. There is Nimrod, and that's the double, the black hole and then the little thing underneath it. Might be an intermediate, might be a foot.
Be interesting to see how they tackle that.
Mikel, looks like he's got a cold. Can't help.
Yeah, we all have our pre-shot routines.
That's true.
He might be blowing his nose.
A little superstition maybe, who knows. I have a feeling he's just a bit ill. So he falls off the first move of the slab. Nimrod looks up, just trying to work this out. And you reckon on the Nimrod Marcus's boulder, that first hold is pretty hideous.
Yeah, so the little small screw-on you see underneath that big black flat hold, sloper, looks like a pretty bad hold, but it looks like maybe they want you to go there first to bump into the sloper. So Nimrod tried to go straight to the sloper last time. Let's see if he reassesses. Yeah, so
intermediate and then the bump onto the sloper. Now he's got to bring his hand through though, but oh, the core.
Yeah, tension there. Looks like he's going to have to flick up into that pinch.
He's going for the toe hook on the left.
Very nice.
Right in.
Really good release.
So do you think it's a double jump up or right-left or a match on the zone?
I think we could maybe see a couple of different things. It looks like it's going to be really hard to generate enough to get the left hand out left to the pinch, but definitely I have a feeling we might see some Japanese swinging around on one arm, but we'll wait for that to happen in the future.
Oh, looking forward to that. And there is one of the Japanese athletes, Tomawaki, up into the zone now.
Established. Goes over the left hand. Looked like he needed to give it a little bit more then to get into the hold. Great brushing sounds out there. I'm a big fan of the pointed microphone.
I am loving the microphone. The only thing I felt a bit sorry for was the women who had the mics on them when they came off the stage, because I can't imagine anything worse than if I just competed in a final. Stasha was eating Toblerone, which I loved. Yeah, so you might want to tell the athletes we can hear what they're saying.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Not as I said anything inappropriate, of course.
No,
but
never.
But the mics are amazing. Like hearing the sounds, the breathing, the falls as well, and impacts does make a difference.
Yeah, it's nice to be watching the stream and really feeling like I'm there.
Yeah. You are.
No, we're behind a nice glass. We got the view of the whole stadium from up here.
But I got you that full access pass. You literally go anywhere in this building. You wander on stage right now. No one will stop.
You're not getting that back. That's mine now. Very much.
And Nimrod pulls on once again on men's 3 up to the intermediate. Tiny little hold, and you can see how slopey and gross it is.
He's really going to have to rely on friction on this move, especially being and up with one hand. Yeah, so looks like it maybe go up with the right hand. That pinch has got a screw on underneath, so you've got a good thumb on it. But it does look like you're going to have to really push down through that left hand to maintain tension on the swing.
Tomawaki hasn't really competed recently at all, so it'd be good. I think the stats actually are wrong on that one. So he comes down. And there's Mikel on men's 2. Yeah, men's 2, this weird slab that sort of isn't a slab, because, I mean, you're using your feet like a slab, but then your upper body is doing sort of overhangy style moves.
Yeah, it's the sort of boulder where if you climb it really well, it doesn't feel that physical. But as soon as your hips come out and you start doing a bad job, then it's going to start feeling like you're pulling very hard. Nimrod tried to jump with both hands there.
He's got 30 seconds. That won't count as his own.
Looks like he's going to suck it in.
So Nimrod leaves. Tomawaki is still on. He doesn't quite know. And Mikel, so none of the athletes climbed that. But now I think we're at the stage where we're going to have 4 on, so we get to see that men's 4.
I think maybe after the next rotation, Nimrod will come out for his last boulder. I just saw him spying it up as he walked past. He got a good look.
Cheeky little look at it.
Yeah. All good tactics.
Yeah, as you can see, things are getting a little hectic out there on the mats. Lots of action. And Alexei Urubtsov comes out representing CFR.
This is Alexei's 22nd World Cup or World Championship final in a row, semi-final in a row. That consistency is absolutely incredible. The level here is so high, even in the qualifiers. And every week we see somebody who we would expect to be in the final even, not make the semi-final. So to see him here for the 22nd time in a row, absolutely, like, really is a testament to his quality as a competitor.
Yeah, and he's a man who sort of has an outward, quite stern appearance. But I remember in Moscow in November when he qualified for the Olympics, like, that cracked a little bit. And we saw a different side to Alexei. He's super passionate about this sport.
You can tell he takes it seriously, but he loves it, and that's why.
So Gregor didn't climb Boulder one, but he got a zone. He's got a zone on this one as well.
He looked like he just missed the jib there inside of that picture.
He'd love to make finals, wouldn't he?
In front of the home crowd, he'd really love to see it. Yeah, seeing the support for Elena yesterday in the women's final was really exciting.
Yeah, it erupted every time she walked on. And when she topped, it was a special moment.
Yeah, World Championship final in front of a home crowd has got to be the dream scenario, I think.
Yeah. And the World Champ thing, because it's different from a World Cup, this. World Championships comes around every 2 years. Do you, as an athlete, as a competitor, do you feel that difference?
So it's tough for me because it's my first year. To be honest, this feels just as exciting as the last World Cups I was going to. It's all still really new. For me, the World Championship doesn't make much difference, but I'm sure for these guys, it feels like a big event.
Yeah, because it's a World Cup style thing, and yet if you win this one, you are world champion.
It comes with a title, doesn't it? It's definitely bigger.
Should come with a crown. Just saying. You know that seat in Villars? Did you see it? There was a hot seat. Yeah,
brilliant.
That should be here, and there should be a crown.
I'm a big fan of the big chair for the winner.
Me too.
If you can come off your round feeling like a king, then
exactly.
Not only a champion but a king.
Should be more gold. That's what I'm saying.
Zan's been getting close to this move. It looks like he's going just with the right hand, trying to keep that tension.
Powerful.
To get the pinch on that sloper, that is a terrible hold.
And he's bumping and adjusting the right heel up. That left side pull is okay. It's not a bad hold. But it's just at the wrong place, really.
So that's how he's flipped that right hand. One more move to go for the finish. Can he get it? Oh, just not quite. And he's not happy about it. It looked like maybe his heel restricted him. It didn't look like he was going to be able to get that slope with the heel still in.
Well, the angle of it, I mean, you need to come way over to the left-hand side.
Yeah,
it's not flat, is it?
You're going to have to be really high with your hips to get underneath it.
Look at that, adjusting, bumping. That shows some strength.
These guys train on a spray wall 4 days a week. That's the walls out in Slovenia look amazing. And this is the sort of holes that they love. They wanging around on these all the time.
Love the word wanging there.
Oh, it's brilliant,
That's
isn't
an
it?
excellent word. First time on the stream, I'm very impressed. I just make up words now. I've started just to...
it's great.
Yeah, you have to.
You have the power. That's what you're here for.
If we say it, it's official.
The Shakespeare of competition climbing.
Wow, someone quote that. So Gregor Vezonik pulls through the slab, slaps onto the volume. What's he crimping?
He's trying to get his finger in the screw hole there. That's very British, that.
Yeah. And Alexei is just taping up his leg. You're not allowed to have blood or bleeding on the wall, so you'll see the athletes just do a patch-up job when they're out on the mats with a bit of tape.
Yeah, a lot of friction on all these volumes, so if you scrape a leg on the way past, it's really easy to bleed. And then you've got to spend 10, 15, 30 seconds going in your bag, grabbing the tape and patching up.
Yeah, skin was a bit of an issue for some of the women last night, especially the ones who were going to compete in the lead as well as the bouldering.
Yeah, so that's these guys have actually had a rest day in between their qualifiers and this semi-final day, and it's sort of a double-edged sword. So obviously they're feeling well rested for this this bouldering semi-final and final day, but they've got to go straight into lead qualifiers tomorrow morning. And with Paris, I know we've just had an Olympics, but Paris is only qualification is looking like only a year and a half, 2 years away. So these guys are all like, anyone who's gunning for Paris is probably here for the combined. So they're going anyone who's qualified for this semi-final and has to compete tomorrow is going to be pretty tired and with some thin skin.
Absolutely, there'll be no late night drinking for these guys tonight. Even the winner will be probably back on it. Gregor screaming as he does. I like to see that. A bit of passion out there on the mats. He leaves, and there, now we get to see men's number 4. So this is a proper slab, men's 4. That is Mathieu coming on. Terran from France.
Yeah, I actually won the European Cup out in Krakow that we were talking about Nimrod set. Looking like a really great performance. And he climbed really well yesterday. Came out late, on Friday. Came out really late. Had been in isolation for a long time and came out and put in a great performance to be out here in the semi-final.
Yeah, it was a late qualifier, wasn't it? I think it 9 o'clock it finished. Yeah. No, we overrun a bit as well.
Yeah, we didn't start climbing until 4:30 in the afternoon. So as soon as you've got 100 athletes coming out, it makes it a pretty long day. So,
well, that is our leaderboard on the right-hand side. It will change a lot, of course. We've got 20 athletes to get through, but currently Marcus Nimrod is leading the way. And remember, we're looking for the top 6 athletes to move through to the final. She's spinning off that bad jib hold. And Tomoaki Takata struggling a bit with the start of men's 2.
I mean, the more athletes we see, the more Nimrod's performance on those first 2 boulders is looking like a big one.
Yeah, and there is the man. He got down to that hold he's brushing on his, I think it might have been his first attempt, but
yeah. So men's number 4 looks like a pretty big concept jump. It looks like you want to jump out to the right, running along the volumes, and then palm down on that sloper. That looks like the obvious way that it's set, but it looked like Nimrod jumped down to that foothold the first time, or down into that palm hold the first time. So it'll be interesting to see how he tackles it from now on, whether he goes for the set beat.
It's a complicated looking boulder. When I walked in this morning and gazed out of my commentary box at it, I couldn't work out what the white hold was down on the right-hand side. We just see him swinging around at the end of the screen. We'll flip back to him soon, but meanwhile we're with Tomoaki, and there is Nimrod. Oh, what a move. Right, so that white volume, what do you think that's for? Just a toe?
So I think that they want you to palm down on the hold that his feet's on, come to that hold that he's on with his left and the left, and then catch that jog with the right hand, that X-Colt Dual-Tech macro.
So he hasn't used it at all, hasn't he?
I think that he's cheated the sequence here. Up through the zone, he's eyeing up that top hold already. And looking for his 3rd top in the round. Oh, and just doesn't get control.
So he's close. This is his final boulder, what form he's in. Yeah, so didn't need that one on the right, but he's in some rare form. So
it's going to be interesting to see how other athletes tackle that boulder.
Yeah.
Whether or not they stick with what I think is the more obvious sequence, or they try and break it like he did. And it obviously worked out pretty well for him.
Of course, you can get up the boulders any way you want. You don't need to do it the way the route setters envisaged. In fact, one of my favourite things is to watch an athlete do a boulder in a different way and the route setters just to be confused about what's going on.
Yeah, there's no better feeling as an athlete, I can tell you.
Yeah, I bet. So, all 4 still in action. They got just under 2 minutes. Mikael is struggling with this really powerful first sequence of this boulder.
Yeah, you can see how bad that sloper is from this angle. Really terrible hold. Richie tying up that jump move. Looks like he's got his hips in. Oh, and went really slow. Very nice.
Stuck it this time. Took him a few goes to get this, but
really good footwork there.
Locks in that knee. Yeah, if you were taller, there might be an opportunity to sort of bump yourself up and just lock in that knee and stretch up, but it looks just out of reach to me. Setters will have tested everything, of course.
Yeah. Looks like he tried out that knee bar, has decided it's not working, and then he's trying to figure it out. We've seen this a few times. People get up here and then hesitate and try all the different methods.
There's Oriane Berton. What a season she had this year. She didn't make the semis yesterday in the bouldering, which is a shame for her, but she is supporting her French teammates. There on the mats. Nimrod again going up that right. He's starting to look a little tired, is Nimrod and Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, they've been out there a long time, 4 boulders. Yeah, it doesn't sound like very much, but when you're fighting for a final position, it feels like a lot of work. He's got 38 seconds. There's plenty of time to top, but whether or not he can get through this sequence again.
Yeah. I mean, it's that move up to that sloper and then to catch it like that is...
And he'll definitely be feeling the pressure. He'll be disappointed not to get that top on the go where he had both hands there. But still, what a performance.
Yeah, 2 tops in the zone for him at the moment. He's way at the top of the leaderboard currently.
2 back up the top.
He's got 14 seconds, looks at the clock.
It's plenty of time, but he's going to have to go. Tries the left hand. He's got the hold, but is he going to be able to bring it in for the match? Quite.
Digging his fingers in there, so close.
I am feeling that one for him.
The support has been amazing this year, and you know, this is my first proper season doing the full commentary, but I have done stuff in previous seasons, and the atmosphere I've noticed is different with the athletes. It's like COVID meant that we had not an audience, so the athletes were in supporting it, and for me, there's a really nice supportive atmosphere going on at the moment.
Yeah, it's been nice. Obviously, it's been a difficult season for everyone, right? Comps being cancelled, stuff being moved around. We're all just happy to be here, to be honest. Like, to have the opportunity. There's always mumblings that the comp might not go ahead, or it might be postponed, or maybe we're going to move. But like, to just be here and to be doing what we really enjoy doing is very nice. So even for the guys that aren't in semis, there's still psyched for everyone who's up there and giving it their best go.
Alexei Rubtsov steps through on the slab, and Billy Rydell just came out. Do I call him William or Billy? I've always called him
Billy.
Bill. Yeah,
Billy
exactly.
Rydell.
Right, that's good. He's always a William on the official thing. I'm like, that's Billy. What are you talking about? Anyway, Alexei Rubtsov is pushing up on the slab. Look at the effort in his face as he goes up to palm and then just drops the foot. CFR coaches watching on. Those two have been hilarious to watch on camera. They're so absolutely love it.
I'm a big fan of the coach cam.
Yes.
We get to see replays of them stressing with the athletes. It's great.
Me too.
And there's Billy Rydell. So great to see him in a bouldering semi-final again. Has had a fantastic year. Obviously, he spent a little bit of time focusing on lead and had a fantastic cram performance. Made it to the semi-finals and topped one of the qualifier routes. So to see him in semis in two comps in a row in two different disciplines is looking good for him.
There's Zan trying that move out to the right. He was attempting to use that white hold that time. Slapped for it, but just missed it.
Yeah, so I definitely think that he's trying the beater that the route set is intended. So it'd be interesting to see whether that ends up easier or harder.
Billy Rydell there down on men's one. Tall athlete. Towers above a lot of people. Oh, what is that?
Crazy move.
From Zan.
Such a long way in between that left hand and the right white hold. Really wide finish position.
That's spectacular. The photographers will be having a fun time with that one. Alexei Rubtsov uses the volume with the left, presses up again. He's got to watch his feet here.
Really tenuous foothold, and you're really pressing through that, and there you see it go.
Yeah,
we'll probably see him brush that foothold now, so that doesn't happen again.
Well, it's tricky, isn't it? Because obviously the more you weight your feet, the more you're likely to stay on the hold. But then you need to move up at some point and therefore unweight your feet, and that's when stuff like that can happen.
Yeah, they're on those big slopey footholds. Yeah, you see him brushing his feet. You want clean shoes, lots of surface area, so he'll drop his heels really deep and try and get as much foot on the hold as possible. You see Zan catch it with a toe hook. He was trying to go down with a hand before, so that's a good improvement.
He's flying through, and there's the toe in the sort of flared crack-like feature the route setters have created. Nimrod got up to this final hold, had one hand on it. Oh, look at that.
That's great. One hand on. We know this match is hard.
He's very unbalanced in there, isn't he, at the moment? He'll have to work out a way of just getting himself set on it.
Finger in the screw hole. That's so small.
Swaps feet.
Any means necessary, not quite. Slaps with one hand. He's got time for one more go if he can recover from that.
I want to see that flying move again. That was a
great move.
Incredible. So Gregor Vazonik, 2 zones at the moment. No zone on this physical boulder yet. He puts on some liquid chalk. And you might hear the crowd going crazy. That's because that man there, Alexei Rubtsov, just topped men's 2. Stands and gets confirmation, and that will help his score. He moves into 3rd at the moment. Of course, having 2 boulders to go. Let's see a replay of that. So he's stepping under, using that big undercling, that bicepy move. And then this is the move, Alex, that spat him off before, these bad feet.
Yeah, really pushing into that groove. It looks like you want to get your hips and your shoulders really close into the wall so you can push in on that hold rather than out. And then you see that foothold making it work for him this time and really trying hard into it. So that's that little crimp is slotted with another hold above it to make it really accurate. You have to go really slow and accurate into it to get it good.
It's a slightly misleading camera angle perhaps because it makes it look like he's standing on a flat volume, and it's not. You can see there on the right, that's the actual angle of it. Look at that move from Zan. He power screwed it in the air then, I think.
Billy, for Billy there.
Billy comes down. So no zone for Billy.
See him having having a little look at the next bowler. I think the next bowler will be really good for Billy. He's really good in his feet and pressing into moves, so be excited to see him for the rest of the round.
Lee Min-young from South Korea is out onto the stage. Brushes up, gets ready. Just joining us, hello and welcome to the World Championships. We're in Moscow. My name is Matt Groom and I'm here with Alex Waterhouse, who is giving us some fantastic athlete insights into these boulders. From Team GB, thank you very much for joining me here today, mate.
Oh, thoroughly enjoying it.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good view up here.
It's fun. I do enjoy semi-finals. It's a chance to watch like some of the best athletes in the world just session, you know?
The semi-finals is all action. You've got 4 people out on the mats at the same time. There's always a top happening or somebody doing something cool. So good to be a part of it.
Matthew on the slab,
straight into the zone. Press past this volume now.
Getting allayed from the crowd. Lots of support for him.
It looks like it's almost a classic corner turn. You want to go round with your hips first and then push with the arm. If you try and pull too early, then you're going to be pulling at the wrong angle on the volume.
Mikel does the Nimrod style beater, dropping down to that sloper. It will get worse and worse, that sloper, as more athletes touch it. Oh, okay, up with the left.
Up with the left, and then it looks like he wanted to catch with the right. Terrible slope of that. It's going to get worse, but it's already pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting set. A lot of different styles and ways of doing these moves. I think the root setters this week have kind of excelled themselves so far.
Yeah, I think that's really a testament to a good set when there's a lot of options. I know as an athlete, it can be frustrating if there's only one sequence and you can't find a way around it. I really think that the creativity of athletes to find a different way is one of the big things that sets the best apart. And I think that root set is giving us the opportunity to do that is the way forward. It's certainly more interesting to see people solving a puzzle than just pulling really hard on bad holds.
Absolutely, and there's a fine line though. You want them to solve it, but not solve it too quickly. And,
yeah.
You know,
that's a much harder game than me, a competitor, I'll tell you.
Matthew breathes deeply as he rests. Push with that left. Work out how to get his feet up onto that volume. Coming up to almost halfway through this semi-final in terms of athletes out. Holding his left pec there a little bit.
Yeah, in a semi-final situation, you sort of turn off all the inhibitions that you normally have in a competition. You can end up pulling harder than you were expecting.
He's back on, despite maybe a little niggle.
Straight back in with that left hand.
Yeah, you can see why he was holding his bicep. Look at that pressy move, all twisted and awkward.
You don't speak French?
I do, and we won't comment. I'd say that. Do I speak French? I live in France, but I don't speak it very well.
More than me. Classic British.
Probably not, to be honest. It's really quite poor.
Una cerveza, por favor.
So, running onto that sloper once more. Mikel gets, and he's looking up to the right, and that is Min-young Lee with the knee bar in, scrubbing it, trying to move into the side pull.
You can see some blood on that volume where people have been knee barring. It's obviously pretty. They've banned knee pads this year, so we can expect some more blood.
Yeah, I know they banned it, but it's something you didn't see that often with the knee pads. It's something that I always wondered why people didn't wear them more.
Yeah, it was a little bit preemptive, to be honest. It was the sort of thing that I think was starting to become common in a lot of people's bags. Same with crack gloves, because they can make a big difference in tenuous situations. A lot of the time outside we use knee bar pads to maybe make it less painful, but in a situation where you're smearing against a volume, like having some rubber there can make a big difference. So I think they wanted to get it to the point where there wasn't so much equipment that we were all bringing along. But I bought a knee pad for nothing. So
I can use it for
Tomaki looking so strong.
Look at that, and adjusting the shouldery move.
At 23 seconds, I don't think I'll have enough time to get back up there.
No, but he's looking like he wants to, doesn't he?
He's not very happy with the time, I don't think.
He doesn't quite know what to do. Did he? I think he's asking whether he got something. I don't know. Not sure. But
so he definitely secured the zone on that, and I think that move to the zone is hard, so that will be a big positive for him.
Yeah, he's up into 4th at the moment with 1 boulder to go. 3 zones in a row. Alexei Rubtsov comes back. Mikhail Mawam joins us.
Yeah, another one of our Olympians.
His
coming
brother
back from Tokyo.
ripping his bicep in the Olympic, which was
terrible injury.
Oh, I just went cold when I saw that as Mikhail's brother.
No, we definitely wish him a fast recovery. I believe he's been into surgery as soon as he got back from Tokyo.
Yeah, I think straight away, yeah.
So, yeah, good luck with your recovery. I'm sure you'll be watching your brother now.
Yeah, screaming at the screen somewhere. So Gregor Vezonik would like to get a top here. He hasn't had...
So going with the left palm and the right hand there, it looked like he wanted to touch the toe.
He did specifically say something nice about him. So, Gregor, you're killing it.
I've got nothing, I'm afraid.
There's Mikhail Mawam. What a knee bar that is.
So good. Yeah, we saw some rubber on the underside of that foothold. Wondering if the root set had tried that knee bar. But it looks like the competitors are finding it.
Alexei chalks up, tries to work this sequence out. And there is Gregor, and he is killing it at the moment because he's close to the top.
Yeah, looking like he's on his second go up here already. But this match is hard. Oh, not quite.
It's just body position, isn't it? You're the wrong way onto that hole to get it.
Yeah, it's proper out of balance position. I'm sure there's some orientation or permutation with the feet that will make it doable, but I'll be interested to see how they solve that. Gregor
close, but not quite. Just needs to work out his body because the weight's kind of over to the left. There's nothing to get. Your left foot's in the wrong place. You almost want to get your right foot out and then flag with the left and drop into it. But I mean, it's easier said than done.
I do wonder whether the heel toe cam that we talked about, squeezing your foot into that crack, might help you put the weight in the right direction.
Mikhail Mawam brushes up. I think this set was suited him, and we saw him having a long, lingering look at that boulder as he went. And you think this could be his style? Yeah,
I think he's made the zone on the first go. I think he'll know what to do now.
Yeah, Billy was, as you said, like very good in the lead, and it's something sorry, we're just watching Zan talking to his Slovenian teammates. Team Slovenia is so much fun to watch. They move around. I've said this before, but they move around. It's like this group. It's quite intimidating almost, but they're just so focused and so good.
Yeah, for such a small country that has just so few people, to have such a strong climbing team, it's a testament to their climbing culture.
It really is.
And they all train in little walls together, and it feels like a very tight-knit community. And it's one of the reasons that they're the best, as we see Billy pulling back on. He's had a nice long rest here.
Yes, I was just saying, he's started to look more into not changing his focus, but realising that he's got real potential in the lead.
Yeah. No, I mean, to see him in both semi-finals, he's obviously got potential as a combined athlete.
He falls down on the right, but Gregor Vezonik is back to this move. Will he do something different? Will he just unleash a bit more power?
He stood up a lot higher this time. Looks like he's really struggling to get weight for his left hand.
Made the match, just not
such a hard match.
It's a bad hold, that, isn't it? I mean, it's a downward sloping sloper ball thing.
That's the technical term.
Exactly. I mean, you can just listen to us and get an idea of what we're talking about here. I mean, we're so descriptive.
I just switch the screen off. No, keep your eyes peeled for the action, because we ain't telling you what's happening, but you're going to need to figure it out for yourselves.
We'll run out of words by now. So a minute on the clock, Billy Rydell.
That's the classic Billy Rydell arm swing waft. Keeping his hands cool, getting himself psyched.
Alexei Rubtsov makes the match in the background, there he is, but then comes off, and Mikhail Mawam, this huge knee bar. We saw this knee bar, we talked about it, didn't we, that it was potential there, but...
It does definitely look like it might suit a shorter knee, perhaps. He's got long legs. Goes for his jump. Power screen. Gregor back up.
How has that man still got strength for this?
This is his last boulder. 25 seconds.
Well, Gregor Vezonik, great effort from him. He's happy to be in the semi-finals. Will it be enough? I mean, he's currently in 4th, but we have a lot of athletes to come. And a big shout from him as he leaves. And there's Alexei. He goes as well. Well, 5 minutes done. That went quickly. And now we have another rotation. And another one of your teammates, Nathan Phillips, coming out.
Nathan Phillips. Nathan just seems to have this World Championship switch that he flips. He's been in the semi-final for the last 4 World Championships in a row. Every World Championships he's ever entered, he's been in the semi-final. Made the final in 2018, back in Innsbruck. So I think he'll be looking for a big performance. Nathan is looking in good shape.
I always love it when Nathan comes out because I did my first ever 7B boulder in front of him outdoors in the Peak District. So whenever I see Nathan, I think of that moment because I think it was way back in the day and I don't think I knew who he was at that stage. He was working some kind of horrendous AA or something and I was so chuffed to get this 7B done. So every time I see Nathan Club, I just think of that moment that I shared with him and he has probably no idea that I was even there. That is Min-Young Lee on the slab, popping off that little black hold.
Terrible little thunder cling. Thunder cut.
Thunder cut, did you say? That's
thunder
awesome.
cling.
I'm going to use that.
Yeah. Depends where we are in the world.
I love it.
Chu setting up for the tension move.
So powerful, that.
Nathan pulling on for the first time after 1 minute and 15 seconds. He's had a nice long look at this boulder. He'll be looking to get it early. Such an analytical climber. He'll come out. You can see him really moving with his body. You can tell he's visualizing it like from inside himself, and he executes because of it.
Has read it well. Has he read this move though? Is he going to cross through with the left or pump with the right?
Playing with his feet, trying all the options. Looks like a really hard position to generate out of, but he's matched in slow. Wow. Incredible.
And then holds the swing.
That is the most static we've seen anybody do that move.
The strength drive for that is
so good. Especially, he's just spending a lot of time figuring it out. I mean, he's still in this flash burn and we're 2 minutes and 10 seconds into the round.
But this is the thinky move. And he thought about the knee bar, decided better of it, which is good. We haven't seen anyone do that beater yet. What's his right foot?
He's eyeing up for the right hand. Oh. So a lot of people have come off of that jib with their left hand, so they're higher up there. He's got one hand on, but we've seen people struggle with this match.
This is a stroke of beast-like strength from Nathan Phillips.
Come on, Nathan. Let's try. Oh, not quite. I don't think they'll give him control for that. He's looking good though.
I mean, that was just... Oh, hello. So,
another hard match. That's the first time we've seen that.
All right, so that's
finishing out the round strong.
All the boulders unlocked now, isn't it? I think. Have we seen tops on everything yet? Boulder 3? Maybe not Boulder 3. No, not Boulder 3.
No, we've seen no top on Boulder 3 yet, but that's the first time that the Boulder 4 has been topped. So nice to see that the match is possible.
Exactly. And look at his body position. Is it different? I mean, he is... Just watching how he did this here.
It looks like he's squeezing with that left hand to try and bring some tension in, but he comes in really quick with that right hand and just sort of compresses between. It's like he's holding the bowling ball above his head.
Yeah, I mean, that is some real grip strength there to do that.
He's trying hard. Japanese team aside.
So he's having a big, long rest now. That would have taken a lot out of him. The way he did that boulder, although he executed it perfectly, I mean, that would have taken a lot out of him.
Yeah, it's so often the balance between making something secure and making something easy. So you can quite often pull harder and make it less likely you'll fall off, but maybe you've got less energy for the top. I'll be interested to see if he moves with a bit more fluidity this time, or if he sticks with a more static beater.
Well, he's got a minute to do it, whatever he does.
I think if he gets up high again, this will be his last attempt, so this is a really important goal. See all that blood in the knee bar there. Nathan wearing long shorts.
It might have made him a bit tired, that first go. He's quickly chalking up and pulling on. He's got 40 seconds. Min-Young Lee works his way to the left. Toe hook around the corner.
Yeah, it's nice to pull you out left, but you're going to have to get pushed on that left foot afterwards. So if it's pulling you over, you might not be able to get on the foothold. And we see Nathan lining up again.
Similar beater in the match.
Yeah, looking really strong on that. Slow again, but he's got 10 seconds. He's going to have to move quick if he wants to get this top.
He's got one opportunity really to go up. Misses, down he goes.
And
So
he'll be disappointed after getting up there on the first go.
it's a zone though. Time will tell. I think this is turning into being the hard set we thought it was going to be before Nimrod came out and crushed everything.
It's always the way when the first guy comes out and smashes it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it had the root setters sweating just as much as us.
Exactly. I've done this a bit now, and I can usually spot a hard set, and then I say it, I commit to saying it, and then someone goes and completely shows me up. But yeah, it is difficult. And Sasha Lehmann has come on from Switzerland.
Billy Riddle out for the third boulder.
Yeah, and he'll be wanting to get more scores on the doors here. Didn't get a zone in the first one, got a zone on the slab, but he really needs a zone or a top here to stay in contention.
So I do know that Billy is good in a sloper, but the pinching moves up above, even though they're big, might not suit him that well. So I hope that he can come out to this with some confidence and doesn't get in his own way.
Sasha Lehmann is so strong. Just comes off though that left side pull. Alexei Rubtsov is just checking out this move because there's multiple ways of doing it, as we know. And Billy Riddle sticks the sloper. And we switch to Mikkel now. I mean, he's all action here.
Really pushing into that groove. He's trying to get his left hand free so he can push his shoulder out. It's that left shoulder being against the wall. It's pushing his whole body away, so it's pushing it out from the wall. He's trying to get untucked up on that left leg.
Down he comes, slaps his thighs, no go.
That's a lot of man in a small box there.
Alexei matches, comes up.
Yeah, he's made that cheat work really well down from that terrible sloper. Now he's got this match to contend with that we've seen a lot of people struggle with.
So this is it, the power move. Looked like he wanted to bump up towards it, thought better of it. He's going to do it a bit slower. There's a big old palm print there on the black volume to show where people have come before. One hand on pressing, shakes his head. It wasn't going to work for him.
You can really feel the atmosphere in the stadium right now, though. The Moscow crowd getting behind Alexei. They know this is hard. I think he's figuring it out as well.
Yeah, that last move is all about that. Billy Riddle just brushes the opening holds for men's 3. Big pinch start.
Quick brush break. Relax. Yeah. Breath.
About 2 minutes 20, guys. Take your time. So we're watching the semi-finals for the men. We're more than halfway through this Moscow World Championships. We've had speed climbing finals, paraclimbing finals, women's bouldering finals. Tonight it will be the men's bouldering finals. Monday the qualifying for the lead, and then on Tuesday semi-finals and finals, and then we all get to go and sleep. What a week it's going to be, and has been so far. And that's the pinches you thought he might struggle on a little bit.
Yeah, it's a big move. You've really got to pull with the thumbs and then keep the tension on the low hand. Not traditionally Billy style, but let's hope he can get to that zone. Show us this top. Looking like the hardest boulder of the round. From what we've seen so far, we've got a couple of people up to the zone, but no tops yet.
Mikkel comes to the left, brings his hand under again, and as you said, Alex, a lot of big man in a small box.
Yeah, with those low undercuts like that, when you're really big, you have to push so much harder through the biceps.
Alexei's one move away again, once more, trying to get as high as possible to catch underneath. Does!
And gets the match. Big cheer for the crowd. Happy with that, as he should be.
Yeah, can you imagine if he makes finals? He's the only athlete from the CFR in today's semi-finals.
So that's what that second volume is up there for. If you're a bit taller, it means you can press above your head rather than being down by your shoulder. He's into that tiny little slot.
He should get this really now at this stage.
And he's happy with that. That's the feeling we do it for.
Yeah, that is cool. So he is up into 5th with that one. And Alexei, we just saw him come off in his final boulder. He's moved to 2nd at the moment with that top of the final one.
Yeah, a lot of athletes still to come, but he's definitely in with a shot at the final. So we'll keep you updated on how he goes.
Well, there it is. That's confirmation. So Billy is still on. He's down in 10th at the moment, needs a top. And Sasha struggling a little bit at the moment with this. He has got the zone.
Yeah, he's really flicking hard into that pinch and such strength in the shoulders there. Tying up love this final move. 6 seconds. Goes to the right hand. He just needs to get that match.
Goes high on it. Not going to get the match.
Can't keep the tension. And he's laying down on the mat. So much effort goes into it, and that's just his first boulder.
So Sasha has to go and recover. As another one of your teammates comes out.
Oh, what this is great.
Hamish
I hope it's
MacArthur.
like this every week.
Yeah, Hamish MacArthur is a double youth world champion.
World champion.
World champion, yeah.
World champion. That's amazing. So cool.
If he wins tonight, he'll be a triple world champion.
World champion in like 2 weeks. Both in Russia.
Yeah, pretty cool. And that's the top from Mikel. Look at him.
Yeah, just wobbling into that slot.
And it is dual texture as well, so slippery on top. And then look at this, he spotted the camera. So there is Hamish MacArthur pulling on. A man with shoulders that seem to go on forever.
He's exceedingly long.
He is long, isn't he?
He's a very long boy.
And he's going to get the knee bar, or at least be able to get it.
Pull between. Pulling on for his first senior semi-final boulder in his first senior world championship. I think he'll just be happy to be here, but he'll be looking for a big performance, I'm sure. So focused.
Yeah, happy to be here is great until you come onto the mats and you realise that it's what is that?
Out with the foot first. Such flexibility.
Hamish, I'm not sure that's going to work, but I'm well impressed by that move.
I mean, the creativity required is quite something. I know he spent a lot of time stretching, so focused, so ambitious. Like, he's got a big future ahead of him, and this is just the start.
Nathan Phillips is on the slab. There's a lot of chalk out there on the mats. I'm just looking down from our commentary box, and that's something the athletes will have to be aware of, because chalk on your shoes isn't grippy, chalk on your hands is.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of athletes out there with a small towel for them to clean their shoes on before they get on the boulder. I think the hotel is going to be slightly disappointed with the number of black bath mats that they're getting back tomorrow.
I'm amazed they give them back, to be honest. We are climbers here, I mean, you know. Not much I'd imply climbers with steel anything, of course. I'm just saying occasionally with dirt bags. So, Hamish MacArthur.
What an incredible feat of length. Shoulder strength. He's eyeing up this last hold. The first person to make that move static.
He might make the knee bar work, you know. He's tall enough to do it.
Yeah. Looks like you can get the knee bar in, but then there's such a long way to go off it.
Chalking up.
Yeah.
Casual as you like. This final boulder, and this first boulder.
Still down that jib. A lot of people have come off it with their left hand. Oh, big power scream. Didn't make it stick this time. He's got 2 minutes, so he'll have time for another go.
Something I've noticed a lot with the athletes who are a bit younger, perhaps, which is they see things differently. I'm thinking of Oriane, I'm thinking of Hamish, Elena last night with her foot above her head, beatage in the women's finals. It's like there's a way of doing these boulders, and the older you get, it's almost like you understand the way you do that. But when you're young, when you're a youth climber coming through, you just try things.
Yeah, it's so helpful to have that fresh perspective. I mean, these guys have grown up on this new competition style. I mean, it's not new anymore. We're 5 to 7 years in on this style of boulder. So they've grown up with that. They've got that whole paradigm is this style of move. So they don't necessarily see it in the same way. And I think that's such an advantage. It's something I'm trying to channel.
They'll come. Nathan is coming across now. You can see the effort required for those underclings.
This is a boulder straight out of the British National Training Centre at Unity.
Talk about that a bit, because it's something we see on many athletes' Instagrams, is these sort of competition simulation practice that you guys do. What does that involve exactly?
Yeah, so I mean, the most important part of the training that we do is practice on the style of boulders that we've got to compete on. That seems to be the trend these days, that teams with a lot of funding are putting that funding into facilities for their athletes to improve. Good route setting, great holds, great. I mean, look at Innsbruck as the classic example of multi-million-pound wonderful training facility that, I mean, anyone who's been to knows that it's one of the best in the world. And I mean, look at the success of the US team after they've invested in their Salt Lake City training center. It seems like the future to have these little like hubs where people are training. As we see Hamish going in with the right hand.
He locks it in this time, doesn't he?
He's in the good bit of the hold, and he's getting a back heel this time. And he comes in for the match.
Well, we talked about him being creative. That back heel thing that he just stuck in, that is impressive stuff from him.
Yeah, it's the sort of the sort of thing that you don't read for the ground, but you have to make it up in the moment.
I'm not sure I've ever done that move, to be honest, the back heel like that,
Yeah,
ever. I was trying to think about it. No. So he gets off to a great start.
Yeah, and we've got more Brits back on the mat with Billy Rydell coming out on boulder number 4.
That is our leaderboard. Nimrod Marcus came out on fire with the first 2 climbs. He's still at the top. Alexei Urubtsov in second with that final last-minute top of Boulder 4. But down in the danger zone is Hamish McArthur. He's not in the danger zone, of course, because he's only climbed 1 boulder. Manu Cornu rocking some hairstyles, as he always does. And easy for him. He's one of those athletes, like Manu is always a little bit hit and miss. Like sometimes he just is on a different level and sometimes he struggles. I wonder where he'll be at today.
Yeah, I mean, if he's going to bring it, then the World Championship's the time to do it. So I hope he has a good round. Trying to heel hook there. So you want as much pressure to the right as possible. I don't know if that heel hook is going to be able to... That heel hook will be pulling you left like the top holders. So you want something to oppose it, which is why you see a lot of people with their foot down on the zone.
So as with almost everyone else,
right
oh, what strength there. Come on, Manu. And he's thinking about the back heel
as well, 2 in a row.
That's awesome. Well, there we go.
What a move. If that's the way, then props to the root stairs.
Yeah, it's just something I haven't seen a lot of, that move. So Manu Cornu has apparently turned up and is in form in this competition. Yeah, and it seems to be the further back you can get, almost using that little crack between the wall and the hole is the best place for it. We can see the athletes catching the volume more as a hold, working less often.
Yeah, so the big difference to that heel is it keeps pulling you in, so you can get the match more easily. But great start to his round.
Yeah, things ramping up here. Sasha will start his journey to the left on the slab. Big slap with the palm, and then he's got to turn this into a press. Just not quite getting it right on that move so far.
Yeah, so he has his whole palm on the volume, just trying to press in. It looks like maybe you want to clamp around the rear, as we see Billy make a wonderful coordination move. That was so nice.
I think that toe is kind of what the root setters might have been thinking about.
Yeah, so they've slotted it with that black flat hold there to make it harder to get the toe in.
So Billy is 2 moves away. He needs to match his stands up nice and tall. Pressing underneath.
And easy.
I think he just did that to show off the guns.
I think that's the best we've seen of that move. And what beautiful guns they are. He'll be happy with that top, I think.
Alex, that's on air forever now.
No, I see.
I'm gonna tell him that you said that, so he can cut that clip.
I'm sharing a ring with Billy. I'm sure he'll be happy to hear.
So Billy made that move. Cruzy brought his hand up and under and matched. See where that leaves him on the leaderboard in a minute.
That looks like the best way of doing that move so far. We've seen everyone else come in to the left side of that ball with the left hand and then squeeze with the right hand as they come in. But to reach all the way underneath with the left hand looks like a really solid way of doing it.
Kel Mawam has got a top and a zone to his name at the moment. Nothing so far on this men's 3. He's got a minute 40. It's just him and Sasha left on the mats at the moment.
And these big meaty pinches I would expect to suit Mikkel. Jumping a long way between big.
He often trains in a gym near where I live, and the gym's got this huge lead wall. That's a lead wall, but it's a bouldering wall, so you know it's one of those. And he just campuses his way through that thing. He's such a strong climber.
Yeah, it's such an athletic way of climbing. It's really great to watch.
Sasha Lehmann again into this press move, slaps up with the right palm.
Yeah, you can see he comes in to try and guppy palm squeeze the corner of that volume. I think that would be a great way of pulling you in, because that's the thing we're really trying to do there.
Less than a minute. Sasha rushes again. Mikkel stands, just trying to work it out, resting for a second. So over to the right, we're one of the clocks. There's 2 clocks the athletes can really see on the side of the stage. There are multiple ones dotted around the arena for the crowds. Of course, you guys at home have got it on the bottom right of your screen.
Like Mikkel trying to paddle through that first hold. Obviously not getting very much to match statically.
It's not working for Sasha, and I think he's going to call it a day there. He'll leave with his car mat.
I like the car mat.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I I use that in font, like the Karmat system.
Lucid style.
Yeah. Then my car gets filthy, so you know. So Mikkel leaves the stage. Working our way through the athletes now. 1, 2, 6 left to come out.
We're very much into the back end of this semi-final.
Yeah, coming up to 10 past 11 Moscow time. Finals at 5 to 6 Moscow time tonight. Set your clocks, alarms, whatever you do for that. Young Lee going on 4th boulder. He's just trying to piece this together, isn't he? Just working out what you have to do, because there are numerous options to this boulder. There is just looking up. He's taking his time on this, a minute gone on the clock.
He's just mimed going with the right hand there, like he's going to match into that zone hold and flick out with the right hand. We've seen a few different methods for that, but that one definitely works.
Scrubbing with that knee. Out with the left, nice and calm from him so far. Will he do this dynamically? He won't. He will, I mean.
He did what he eyed up. It looked like maybe he was going to go over with the left hand, which we've also seen work.
So Hamish McAlpha topped Boulder 1, and he's got the zone on 2. Plenty of time to work this out. Is he a good slab climber?
Yeah, he's a great slab climber. Yeah, wonderful. We'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Yes, true.
So I actually don't train with Hamish all that much. He's
okay.
I'm mostly in Sheffield, so I train with Billy and Nathan all the time. But Hamish, as well as Max and some other members of the team, train up in Leeds. So even though it's only 40 minutes apart, we tend to only train together at the team trainings. So it's interesting split. But Hamish, Nathan and Billy, I know really well. So that's why I'm excited to see Nathan on this boulder, because boulder number 3.
Yeah, Nathan's on boulder number 3, Hamish is on number 1, and Jay Pratt is on men's 1. And we just see Min Young Lee not quite making the move up to the volume. Hamish is standing up again.
Crossing under into the zone, as we see Anjay getting up the top. He's felt that knee bar, but obviously hasn't worked for him. Up the right hand, loads of tension.
Will he back heel?
Reeling that right hand into a crimp just to give him that tiny bit more.
Gone for the toe.
Really nice. Yes.
He's coming from strength to strength at the moment. Perhaps sometimes not overlooked in a Slovenian team, but maybe people don't remember how good that man is, and he has potential to win World Cup, win World Championships.
Yeah, I mean, what a great year he's had already.
Yeah.
His 2019 season was really incredible, winning Studio Block back then. So to see him in consistent semi-final and final shape is really encouraging. Be interesting to see how he gets on the rest of these boulders.
Yeah, he uses the toe method to lock him in. Great slow motion shot of that moment for him. So Min Young, again, the moves up to the black volume.
We've not seen many people struggle with this, but as he gets into that guppy, looking like it's letting him stand up a lot easier.
And you have to stand up high on this, don't you? And quickly. It seems like the athletes who do it incrementally struggle more than somebody who just stands up into it, commits to the press. Screaming his way.
Composing himself with a scream. How's he going to try this? He's going to try and press him with the right.
Using that.
One finger into the screw hole.
And crimping the edge of that volume. Oh no, maybe he's in the screw hole as well. So 2 screw holes.
So the route setters will have tried this, and they'll have filled them, so they'll be very, very small. Oh.
Makes it work.
Such passion.
It's all right. Oh, he just hurt himself bad there. You could see as he fell down, just whipped with his back, and he could be in trouble here. Medical team coming over to him. Just sort of whiplashed his back, hyperextended it. That's nasty. We just cut away from that to see the top, but he is getting attention. We're keeping an eye on it right now. as coach is out onto the mats. So we'll probably have a little bit of a pause. We'll just watch Hamish MacArthur finish off. He's got 10 seconds to go. I think we will see a little pause in proceedings here. Ming-Young Lee will be getting attention down on the mats. Let's have a look at the scoreboard currently. Nimrod Marcus with 2 tops, 1 zone. He's in first. Sitting down in the danger zone is Mikhail Mawam. Alexei Rubstov will be happy to see himself up in second position.
Yeah, it looks like we've just had a quick pause in the competition while the Korean athlete is seen by the medical staff.
Yeah, Ming-Young Lee sort of hyperextended his back as he came down, immediately in some pain. He's getting some expert attention. He's on a stretcher and he will be taken off immediately. We'll keep an eye on what's going on for you guys at home. Never nice to see an athlete hurt themselves. And you can just see down on the bottom left of the screen. Sorry about the shots on that. We try to give the athletes privacy if we can, possibly. There's a screen out in front of him. Hopefully you can understand that everyone is reacting to this moment as it's happening. I'd like to give him some privacy, if at all possible. Hopefully this camera angle far back will allow that. And there is a screen in front of him. And let's switch away to some replays while he gets some help. Mikhail Mawam looking out.
Mikhail's such an interesting athlete to see back in isolation. You can really see him revving himself up. Big allays, big sight.
The allays. What's your favourite encouragement? Are you an alley man?
I'm a gamba man myself.
I like a gamba.
Yeah, the occasional divide is no bad thing.
Yeah. I've had the privilege of climbing in Japan, and the gamba game in Japan is awesome. Gamba is kind of like, so alley is go on, you know, it's equivalent of go on if you don't know what I'm talking about, like go, go. Yeah. And gamba is the Japanese version of that. There seems to be a word in almost every language that means the same thing. Yeah. And gamba is the Japanese version.
It almost feels like the fashion of the time is whichever team are the best at the time. So when I was growing up, the French team were always the classic, the people to beat. So everybody would be shouting "Allez" at comps, "Allez, allez." Yeah. Now it seems to have switched to gamba. I don't know why that is.
I'm a fan of that. We're looking at one of the boulders on the wall. Where we just give Ming-Young Lee some privacy as he's down, getting some attention. He came down from the wall, looked like he hurt his back, looked like a back injury. He is on a spinal board right now, being helped out. And let's just watch some replays of the action so far. That man, Alexei Rubtsov, has done well so far. He is in second. Mikhail crosses through. Just having a little replay pause, just to let you know and keep you updated on the situation. Ming-Young Lee injured himself coming down from a wall, looked like a back injury, and he is being taken off by medical staff as we speak. And we wish him the speediest of recovery, and if we find out any information to his condition, we will of course let you know what's going on with that. He is now being cleared from the stage. We wish him well, and we're expecting the competition to restart probably around about that 30-second mark on the timer. Ming-Young Lee will be getting the attention he needs. So Alex, it's been intense so far. We've seen some tops, we've seen a lot of near misses, but I think the set as tricky as we thought it might be out there today.
Yeah, so we had a little bit of a scare to begin with when Nimrod came out and basically flashed the first two boulders. He did the first one second go, flashed the second one. And it was looking like it might be quite an easy round for a minute. But since then, the tops have been sort of few and far between. What have we seen? Maybe only 10 tops throughout all the athletes that have been so far. Like, it is looking like a stern round. It looks like, at the moment, 3 tops could be enough. To be honest, even Nimrod, being our first athlete, our 20th place qualifier, it's looking like he's got a really good shot at making the final.
Yeah, he does, and it would be cool to see that happen. I like it when the first place comes out, because I always think people at home who are like, well, I'll switch on maybe for the last 10 or something, because they're likely to make it through. Don't do that. Watch the whole thing. You never know.
Yeah, and I think those are the performances that really stick with us when we're not ready for it to happen. Like, when they come out and they give us something special, like, that's really cool. And I know that he is sitting down there and feeling psyched. Like, he's just sat there in the crowd. He doesn't know he didn't know how he'd done when he finished the round, right? And now he was in first place. Great, but there's still plenty of people to come behind him. But he's just sat there and seen person after person not surpass his score. So I'm sure it's starting to... When he came off, I don't think he'd have thought he made the final.
No.
But now I think he's probably started to feel it. I imagine he's getting a bit... he's sweating a little bit. His heart's going.
Yeah, he'll be nervous, won't he? So we're just pausing here. I thought they might start after that 30-second mark. I think they'll probably do another countdown. So what about probably 3 minutes 48-ish to go? Because, of course, you want to give the athletes a chance just to recompose themselves, because they won't know what's going on. They'll be being briefed by technical delegates behind the wall.
Yeah, it's really hard in a situation like this when you don't know how long the break is going to be. I think it's really important, rather than with 30 or 40 seconds to go, say, right, you're going out now. Give people 5 minutes, say you've got 5 minutes, you'll be going out. Like, it just gives people a little bit of certainty as to what's happening, rather than rushing it around. And I think 3 minutes and 18 seconds is about enough time to make a cup of tea, if you're quick.
Exactly. Oh, what, at home? I thought you were going to run out and get some tea.
I'm making tea.
I was actually genuinely thinking. I was like, I could actually go and get a tea. That's a good idea. A coffee, maybe, perhaps.
Can you excuse us for a moment?
Yes, exactly. I mean, if you're in Moscow, come and bring us a coffee. We're up in the
We're up at top. Top right, if you're
if you're around. So we just saw your British team all sitting there. Molly Thompson-Smith will be in the league competition tomorrow. Yeah. She was out. What's the atmosphere like within the British team, though? Because you guys didn't get to come to as many competitions as perhaps you'd want to, but now with COVID restrictions perhaps opening up a little bit, you're allowed out again. Yeah,
so we've had a pretty tough year this year, sort of with comps being cancelled and then just with the COVID situation making travel difficult. It's been tough to get to as much stuff as we normally would have wanted to. So actually, I think everybody's just excited to be here and excited to get the chance to compete, all as one big team. I think the team atmosphere has been really good, and obviously we're showing it with some really great performances. So I'm excited for the guys who are here for the lead. We had Jim Pope and Will Bosey arrive, who are competing just in the lead. So it'll be really interesting to see their performances tomorrow. So it'll be nice to actually chat with those guys. I saw them briefly this morning and then headed off to come and watch the semi-final. But I'll be here cheering them on Monday, and hopefully on Tuesday as well for the semi-finals and finals.
Fantastic. Well, looking forward to seeing everyone climb tomorrow and on Tuesday. And that is our current leaderboard. We're looking for the top 6, remember. So not everyone has competed so far. Expect that board to change around a little bit. But yeah, we mentioned it a few times. Nimrod Marcus came out and just crushed it straight away. Tomoaki as well. Takata, he's up there. And Ming Yong Lee, we saw just now, injuring himself coming down from a wall. He's still getting medical attention down on the left-hand side of the stage. That's why we're having this pause. And we'll keep you updated if I get told of his condition, but it's probably unlikely that we'll get told during the semi-final. So I'll try to find out during the break between semi-final and final how he's doing for you back at home. Obviously, a concern for everyone. Athletes' well-being, the most important thing, and that's why we're taking this time to make sure he's getting the care he needs.
Yeah, it's never a situation you want to see with an athlete getting hurt. Like, that's terrible for all of us. But I mean, we know the risk that we're taking as athletes when we come out and compete. Bouldering is of course a dangerous sport, as is all forms of climbing. And in a competition environment, it's just sometimes you switch off those inhibitions a little bit, and something you normally wouldn't do in a session at home or out on the rock. You might just take a few more risks, but it's the game we play. It is part of the sport, unfortunately. And we do wish him all the best. So really, it's all right.
Saw Stefano Gasolfi sitting there in the audience, a man worth talking about because he climbed 9C outdoors, which became a 9B plus outdoors. But he flew in the other day to compete in the lead. And we're seeing athletes who aren't competing in the boulder, new athletes like Will Bosi coming in, like you were saying, like Stefano Gasolfi.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice to kind of get a bit of a refresh for everyone here in the stadium.
Yeah, so I actually think for those guys it's going to be quite a big advantage, because if people come out for a boulder semi-final and final today, then tomorrow morning, even just for the qualifications, it's going to be a tough battle. So anyone who's here in this semi-final is going to be climbing 4 days on, 3 days on by the time they get to the final. That's such a big difference from two.
That's true, so they're going to have to dig deep on this one, and our athletes are back on the wall. So we're underway again. Mikael Mawam on the final boulder, Sasha Lehmann on men's 3. And our new athlete is out in the middle. That is Yoshiyuki Ogata joining us on men's 1. And there is Manu Kornu, who cruised through boulder 1.
Yeah, he's looking on fire. And what a haircut.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Oh, just reeled that one in. Such a terrible hold to fall back on like that. You really want to be above that and pulling up into it rather than outwards.
So Manu Kornu trying to work out how to turn his body to the left in order to press into that slab. That is Yoshiyuki. He stands high with the little left. How's he going to match it?
So strong. He's so high on this hold already. Oh, yes, and just stops that rotation. Comes in with the second half.
We've watched so many athletes struggle with the body position on that hold. And you see someone like him do that strong. It doesn't really faze him. He's got another level of strength he can rely on.
Yeah, there's 2 ways you can make that move easier. You can find the right body position, or you can be really strong in your shoulders. I know which one I would rather be.
Yeah, exactly. It's Sasha Lehmann now.
Sasha's so stretched out, trying to wang to that pinch. But it's hard.
He is wanging to the pinch, as you say, Sasha. 3 minutes, and that is Mikael Mawam 1 move away.
Up with 3 minutes to go, trying to figure out this match.
Great shot there as we see him reappear around the side of the volume.
Properly mauling that volume, trying to get all his palm on as much skin as possible to get the friction. It looked like he was just falling down and then his foot slipped.
Yeah. Sorry about the language there from the stage. We can't control what the athletes say. So Manu Kornu pushing off that volume now, going really low.
Yeah, he reached all the way down to that volume with his left hand. It looked like it helped him to pull left slightly. Oh, and that's what we were talking about earlier with that terrible foot. It looked like he needed to take a little bit more time to place it and really get the weight through it before he started to stand up.
So Manu brushes Sasha Lehmann. There he is, getting a heel hook in.
Yeah, that heel hook looks really nice for pulling you underneath of that flat hold sloper. Such a long way for him. Sasha, one of the shortest athletes in the field.
Yeah, perhaps smaller, but he makes up for it in huge amounts of muscle. That man is shredded.
Small, but exceedingly wide.
Yeah. Mikael Mawam looks up again, trying to figure this out. He doesn't quite get that boulder. And this is the top where he just found a level of strength to make it work. You can see he did the usual. We've seen this a lot. Knee bar in, no. Left up, no. I'll just use my shoulders.
I like this heel to go up with the right hand. That was a really nice way of doing that move.
Yeah, that toe underneath.
That might have been part of the reason he still had that strength left. You have to reel it in with the shoulder. You can sort of make the first half of that move easier to the match. It was less fatigue for the match.
Team Japan, full support from them. Manu Kornu drops down.
Big alleys from the crowd. A French team and the Japanese team, both such great support from their bench.
Up he presses. Oh, misses the foot. Rushing that last movement there a little.
Yeah, it looked like you have to have really flexible hips to be able to reach your foot up high enough to really push down through it. Hard when you're pressed away with your shoulder like that.
So Mikael Mawam is back to where he was before. 55 seconds to match this top. Comes into the very, very top, crimping, using the volume itself to hold on to. And again, that's something that we see more and more of. Like athletes holding the millimeters of thickness on a volume.
Yeah, it's an any means necessary sport. There's nothing out of bounds, so it's the route setter's job to make sure that we can't do that. one of the things that started to happen now is they'll use filler, wood filler or body filler to fill in the screw holes. They'll then paint that back over the top. Sometimes use tape around the edge of the volumes. It really is an attack and defense sport. So
cat and mouse, isn't it?
Yeah, we start using the screw holes, they start filling the screw holes. We start crimping on the edge of volumes, they start filling the edge of the volumes.
You got to watch it, Alex. They'll start using new no holds soon. You'll get too strong. Manu Cornwall just topped out men's 2 with a huge scream, and he's 2 for 2 now.
Yeah, one of the few athletes, or just him and Nimrod, who have 2 tops at this stage of the competition on the first 2 boulders.
I haven't seen Manu in a finals for a while. I would like to see him there. He's one of those athletes who's just entertaining, fun to watch. You just never know. You never know with him.
No, and on the buzzer too.
Yeah.
Always keeping it dramatic.
And he knows the second he locked in that one arm, and he was going to get it. He hung there for ages celebrating.
Savour the moment.
So Hamish MacArthur is on the jumpy physical 3. Nathan Phillips is down on 4. My new athlete on stage is a man, Samoa Narasaki. You may have heard of him.
I've never heard of him.
He is one of the world's best, competed in the Olympics. Was probably one of the favourites for the Olympics, didn't quite go his way. It's nice to see him back here for the World Champs. He would love to walk away with a World Championship crown.
Yeah, he'll have been gunning for a gold medal in Tokyo, so this might a World Championship title will be a pretty good consolation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that'll be his goal for this campaign.
So he's a man with huge amounts of strength to hold on. He's immediately into the final move.
No hesitation, such a...
Ooh.
I say that and he comes back down. Tomoe will always go all out on the beat that he thinks is going to work. He'll never half-heartedly try something in a way that might not, or that may or may not work. So then when he comes down, he'll know 100% whether or not it's going to work, and it looks like it's working for him now.
He's using his teammate's toe scrub.
All the way
That did look awkward.
Yeah, he looked like he wasn't getting anything out of the hold, so kept turning his body underneath more to try and get around it. Incredible strength in the shoulders and the flexibility to get all the way around, but it doesn't work for him that time.
I'm someone with very injured shoulders, and that makes me go cold. I just careful, mate. So Nathan Phillips has had a few goes here, and now he's... Oh, has he? Yeah, 2-3, yeah, he's had a go. So, let's see what he can do. Eyes up this run and jump, checks the clock.
Jump down onto that slope. We've seen that work for a couple of people. That's how Nimrod got to the got through that. We saw Disha try that as well.
Explain to us why that, because we watched Nimrod cruise that move. It's not as easy as he made it look. And why is that?
Yeah, so because it's a really bad slope, you need to end up with your hips underneath it because it's a long way across, and then you have to go down underneath it. So it's a really precise trajectory of the hips to make sure you end up in the right spot. And to be honest, it's just a miserable slope. So you've got to be pretty controlled when you get there in order to make it work.
Let's see if you can do it this time. Runs out, drops down,
yeah,
sticks
really
it.
nice. So you really got underneath that in order to use that slope. But as soon as you're above or to the side of a slope, it's really hard to make it work.
We'll come back to Nathan in a minute. What is that bag? Is shit. I thought it was a chalk bag for a second there for Hamish. I think it's just his bag, but I'd be well impressed if he dipped his hand in there.
Yeah, something we're seeing more and more in comps these days is people taking out multiple pairs of shoes, different chalk bags, different types of chalk. Equipment is a really big part of this sport, and it's why we put a lot of trust in it. So we want exactly the best options. Just falling there again.
He's trying a similar kind of thing, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks like maybe he wants his left foot on the top of the zone hold in order to be able to press to the right some more. Because he stood in the on the right side of it, it's not letting him get crossed by as well as
Nathan Phillips is dropping onto the slope. He goes up for the right hand again. Maybe looking a little bit weary out there at the moment. But so much physicality in that final boulder. Harsh to come at the very end.
Yeah, such a crazy move to come right at the end. Yeah, it's interesting to see how many people have gone for alternative beaters on this. for me, I read that basically straight away as like a run, but to see people come down and drop into it, obviously that's actually looked like the easier beater for a lot of people. So
Yeah.
interesting to see how well people know themselves on that sort of move.
Anjay did that crazy move where he came out and caught it, flying move, but no one else has really attempted it. Oh, there he goes. As I say it, off screen, Nathan attempts it. Hopefully we'll see a replay of that. Tomoe Narasaki. Let's see again from Nathan. So he tried this wild beater.
He knows what he needs to do now.
Tomoe, we cut back to him as he presses upwards. He's tried the same move twice. Easy so far.
Yeah, he's really dialed in that first section.
20 seconds. Is he going to stick with what he did before and just try to make it work?
First to try with a left hand, and we've seen nobody make that work. Yeah, so to make that work after 3 or 4 goes already, with the other hand in such a strengthy way, really impressive. I think that's what makes the best athletes is that they have that ability to switch beaters.
Well, he's
in the heat of the moment.
Because he tried 2 ways of doing it, didn't make it work, and then I thought he must try the same one, but no, up with the left.
No, I mean to have that confidence to say, yes, I can do this, and he went for it. He never hesitated on that move.
I mean, he is a man who has a speed climbing move named after him, so you know it tells you the quality of that. So Nimrod Marquez is still on top. He came out first in the semi-final a couple of hours ago now, and he's still up there in first position, 2 tops and a zone. Alexei in second, again, sitting in a good position in second place. I think he might be a bit surprised. Both of them might be a bit surprised to be there.
They'll be thinking it's more and more likely now.
Mejdi Shalk, he was active in the youth comp a couple of weeks ago.
What a standout year from him. One of the best senior debuts I can remember. Coming out, making the final in Salt Lake and coming in second place. Like, for his first year of senior competition, that's such an incredible way
You
to
can
start.
say it's annoying, it's fine. I mean, I get annoyed by the talented youth all the time.
It's fine. No, I'm not worried about it. I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, me too. Just hate the young and talented. So up he goes.
Oh, and with that heel that we saw Yoshiyuki do. Big power scream.
So not quite for Mejdi. He will go again. He's got plenty of time. Getting quickly to the last move. Drops down and deciding probably just to come down or slight slip maybe rather than stay up there. 'Cause it can burn a lot of energy holding onto a bad hold just for trying to get that flash attempt.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to come back in, but then he missed it with his hand as he came back down. There's not very much that will get these athletes off the wall. It will be a mistake or a miss that gets him down.
Sasha Lehmann, no tops for him so far. 2 zones though. Yoshiyuki.
Yeah, and that palm squeeze.
It's so awkward, this move, isn't it? You have to just turn your whole body with no real handholds to speak of.
Yeah, it's something that we don't really think about with comp boulders. We climb on comp style in the gym, and they're always such nice flowing moves, but quite often these route setters aren't trying to give us fun boulders to climb on, they're trying to make us fall off, which means that they are not very nice to climb a lot of the time. They'll be awkward, they'll be uncomfortable. They'll put you in positions you don't want to be in, because that's where you can get the best to fall off.
Sasha Lehmann just has another look, blows in his hands. So 2 minutes to go, and we're nearing the end of this semi-finals now. Just 2 athletes have yet to climb. And we'll start to wind down the other way. We started off with a few athletes on stage, and then we'll go the opposite way for the semi-final. We'll end up with just Kokoro Fuji out alone. Mejdi Shalk quickly once again into this last move.
So interesting how you can make that move easy with cool foot techers. Squeezed into that tiny little groove.
He goes up with the left. Will he have the
left
strength?
hand and the heel.
Just bobbled off that heel a bit.
Yeah, when Tomoe went up with the left hand, he really thrust his hips really high, so he was stood up above that hold so he could pull sideways on it. If you're too low on it, it means you're just going to fall off the bottom. You haven't got that rightward pressure to keep you on it for the match.
Manu Cornwall, I should say Cornwall? Manu Cornwall?
Get on.
Yeah, I've got a UK brain. But he has had a great semi-final at the moment. He's sitting in third, 2 tops.
Yeah, he'll be looking for this zone to keep him on pace with the rest of the field on this boulder. Just loses the tension. He tried to put his left foot up there and it slipped. And
I thought he went for the campus there. I thought it was a deliberate move.
Well, so that's the sort of thing that can work really well on a sloper like that, so you can stay below it. Sometimes if you have your feet in on the wall and then you do the move, the feet swinging off backwards can pull you back off the hole. So it could be the way. It's certainly a lot more strength intensive though.
Yeah,
Ooh,
sure.
and a lovely little flip there. I like that. Such a Japanese style of doing that move, that you flip with the whole body rather than taking it slowly.
Yeah, we talk about flowy Japanese style all the time, but it is true. They do have a style within the team.
I mean, and I think it's the future of comp climbing and climbing outside even. That's the way that it's going. Everything's moving a little bit faster. It's good to, I don't know, they seem like they're forging ahead with that style, I think, for the last few years. And I think it's why they've been as dominant as they have been.
I'm not sure whose sock that was, they just showed, but someone's sock. Mejdi, matching
with the match.
2 seconds to go.
So nice.
So Mejdi will walk away getting it done. Fanny Gibert couldn't handle that one. Fanny Gibert just missed out on finals yesterday.
Yeah, the French have given us some drama with the last minute tops. Manu on Boulder number 2 earlier.
Could see 2 French athletes in the final. That'd be exciting. Let's see. Yannick Flo has just been announced to the crowd. He'll be out in a second, but look at that from Mejdi. There is Yannick Flo in the red shorts. And you were saying he's in good form at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking in good shape. His performance in the qualification was pretty impressive. Like, so what they had, their group had a really hard power boulder, and he's got his Instagram if you go back and look at it, but he absolutely rinsed it. That boulder was not done very many times, and he made it look not that hard. Such a strong athlete, one of the most powerful on the circuit.
So Yannick Flo getting established, and a very keen outdoor climber as well. Certainly this last year he's sent some classics, hard classics. Bombs out into the sloper, he'll cross through.
Like he just missed that gym inside.
Hamish MacArthur, first time we've seen him on men's 4. He's going, I thought he was going static, but he's not. Goes for the jump for the drop down.
Trying to go down. So that'll be harder as a taller athlete because you've got a lot of body to fit under there without dabbing your feet on the mat. Anytime you touch the mat, even if it doesn't make any difference to the move, then the judges will pull you off. I remember it happened to Shauna. Had her first win taken away by, as she was pulling off the ground, her foot just dabbed onto the mat, or so the judges said. And so she was got first place there. Samara up high.
I mean, that angle again, he just stood up on that slab. It's an awful slab. That makes it look flat. It's not.
It's quite steep.
I mean, I want to see a replay of that from another angle, because that was casual as you like. Yannick Flo again into the match, almost holds it.
He got locked into that little groove, but
here we go. Look at this. Look, he's shaking out while he goes up.
That is a miserable crimp. So you can see just on the corner of the screen there that it's blocked up, so you have to go really slowly into the crimp before the finish.
That's one of the coolest things I've seen so far. Like, shaking up as he's jumping, and then he waved as he brought the match in.
Yeah, that ability to modulate how hard you're trying to chill when you can and try hard when you need to is such a skill.
Jay Pahak in 9th at the moment. He'll need something here to stay in touch. 9th at the moment. So Tomoa clears out of men's 2, so just 3 athletes on the stage. Yannick Flo hasn't unlocked men's 1 yet. You see Hamish MacArthur jumping around on men's 2 and Jay Pahak on men's 3. There they are. Camera pans around, seeing Hamish's enormous chalk bag thing, whatever it is. Oh, look at that.
So nice, and the rotation back to get the right foot back on the handhold.
That's intelligent. I mean, the drop down wasn't working for him. He changed it up and immediately getting success.
Yeah, so he's looking to secure his second top of the round with this top, which will put him in good position. And we know this match is really hard.
Gets nice and high on it. Does the Billy Rydell style.
Billy Rydell bicep match, and so good.
Right, where's that going to leave him on the scoreboard? We'll wait and see.
An amazing senior debut from Hamish MacArthur.
Yeah, that could be the future of... certainly one of the futures of... I would say, you're probably the future as well. No,
What
there's
about
lots of futures.
Max the future.
Futures, oh, Max the futures, oh, lots of futures.
Yeah, the future of the GB team is really strong. I mean, we've had 5 different World Cup semi-finalists in Boulder this year in just the 3 comps that we've been to. So, I mean, the future's looking bright. There's a lot of competition in the team. We're all fighting for places even. So I have a feeling this off-season we're going to all be training hard and trying to outmatch each other.
Looking forward to that. Okay, we're coming to the end of this IFSC season. So Hamish MacArthur gets that done. I'm trying to keep an eye on the scoreboard. He's in 3rd at the moment, so currently qualifying for the finals. We'll see.
You should see how the rest of these athletes close out their rounds.
Flo has 30 seconds on this. Feet high into the left. I don't think he's going to get this. He hasn't quite worked out the middle move. No, he isn't.
Yeah, just 18 seconds to go. He's going to have to head off to isolation.
Solange there, he will call it a day. So, another one down, and our final athlete will be out. Kokoro Fuji, who, well, I mean, on his current qualification form, he's the only one who topped all the boulders. There he runs out, and let's look at the leaderboard. Nimrod Marker still at the top. Alexei Rubstov, Hamish MacArthur, we just saw him climb. Manuel Cornu, Tomoa Narasaki, and Zan Sudar. That is our top 6. The rest of the athletes going down there. Kokoro Fuji hasn't climbed yet, so he hasn't got a score. He's out now on the mats. Manu Cornu comes across in the jump. He's trying that big jump and a swing method.
Yeah, it's normally the case when athletes come out that they'll try the sort of the obvious move to start and then try and cheat it from there. So it'll be interesting to see what method he tries from now. Looks like he's egging himself up for a jump, so.
Certainly the most spectacular way of doing that boulder, and he is...
Oh, and Yoshiyuki pathing number 3 up on the first go. So good in a big pinch and a sloper. Such a strong athlete, really cool.
Yeah,
aspire to be like that
exactly.
on the big pinches.
We all aspire to be like Team Japan. When I think of my perfect climbing style, it's the Japanese style, like that flowy, powerful, effortless thing. Then I watch videos of myself climbing, it's the complete opposite.
Shaking it around.
Exactly, kicking the wall, everything. But there is a man who's pure style, Kokoro Fuji, 5 tops in the qualifying round. Qualified in 1st position for this semi-final.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the favourites here in Moscow. He'll be looking for that World Championship title, and he's looking in good shape.
As is that man, a big flick in order to get himself in the correct position. He's got 2 tops and a zone in 2nd place.
Yeah, a third top on this boulder will put him into 1st position. And he gets it. Whoa.
Awesome from him. We said we don't know what Manu Cornu we have today, because who knows sometimes what kind of an athlete turns up, but when he's on, when he's feeling strong, he does stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, so passionate as well. Like, you can tell how much it means to him. Like, it just gets me psyched to see people that happy. And he tried, so he really slapped in quick with this. If you come slow with that right hand, then you're going to fall off backwards before you have time to get in and get attention. And Kokoro turning all the way out like Tomoa was trying. It work. It's a good start to his round.
Yeah, so he's got 1 top pretty quickly. Happy man, he'll leave. And there's just shout, well, he did some crazy beta on men's 1. Let's see what he can do on this. Just working out how to start that then. Comes up into... Getting alley-mech'd. Oh, the foot pop there. Frustration from Nejdi. Shuki still in action to the left of him. There he is, chalking up.
Yeah, looks like the first 2 boulders, if you get those 2, you're in a good spot, good position for the final. But if you don't do one of the first 2 boulders, you're going to have work to do by the end. So if Nejdi doesn't get up this, then he's going to have to make something happen on the next 2.
Yeah, we haven't seen the top to men's 3 yet, I think. Pretty sure we haven't.
No, it's on. I will say that Yoshiyuki's looking pretty close. So.
Okay, ooh, big claims. All right, let's see what you can do. Liquid chalk on.
It looks like he'll chill out for one final go. I always really respect the calmness of an athlete who can sit there and sit down on the mat. Like 5 minutes doesn't feel like very long, so to really like sit back and relax and take a deep breath is.
Well, and put liquid chalk. I mean, he's literally watching paint dry at that point while this time clicks down. Mejdi not making this work at the moment on the slab. The opening moves out of reach at the moment.
Such a technical start.
This was...
Kokoro's his hand falls off as he goes for that move, so he just sticks it with one hand.
Boosts up, gets it, nails it, fingers in that little crack created from the hold on the wall. Oh, working, gets it. And he did that method that we saw Tomoa try, you know, with the high arm.
The high toe and turned all the way out to try and push rightwards into the hole.
Right, you called this. Let's see if Yoshiyuki can get this done. He's close.
He's not enough time.
Oh,
so strong. Swinging around with those pinches. Those holds are terrible. And foot slip, he's still on. Oh, that would have been very cool. I'd have enjoyed that a lot. So instead of going out left to the crimp for that final move, he tried to just go from that pinch and flip it so he could provide opposition with the top hand.
Do you think he did that because he lost his feet, or was that deliberate?
So watching him on previous goes, he'd gone out to the left hold, and obviously it was pretty bad, so he couldn't get anything out of it. I think one of the ways that we saw earlier that might have worked was to have a heel hook on the zone, and then go out left hand to the crimp, and then go to the top hold from there. But he didn't find the heel hook, so he went for what he thought would work.
Exciting to see. So, I'm just flicking through the leaderboard now. Some disappointments, but our top 6 is starting to form. And they'll be in action tonight.
Yeah, Mejdi not getting a zone on that second boulder. One of the only competitors not to find a zone. Just leaving himself with work to do for the final.
Yeah, he's going to have to pull something out. Yannick Fluet, meanwhile, is on it. There it is.
And another athlete who we've not seen get the top of the first boulder, so he'll be looking for something special on this one.
Yeah, and he had a good qualifying round. Second for this semi-final. So, we're coming to the end. 10 to 12 at the moment. Not long left now as we watch highest qualifiers in action.
Yeah, it's been a great level of semi-final, actually. I really like it when it's a hard round. It feels like the athletes can show their best rather than making mistakes on easy boulders. It's what I like to compete in as a climber, and I think that it's more exciting to watch. And to be honest, this semi-final's flown by for me, so...
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, that's something I've heard quite a lot, is athletes being like, we like it when it's tough.
Yeah.
You know, we want a challenge. We've trained super hard for this stuff. We're as strong as you can be. Like, make it hard.
Yeah, we're not here for it to be easy, and it's great when you can show your best in a style that you really excel at. You can show your strengths rather than your weaknesses being accentuated so much. I mean, there are all ways of deciding a competition, and there's a philosophical discussion to be had about who's the best climber. But I like seeing people trying hard and doing something special.
So Yannick Fluet brushes the blue volume. Jay Pack looks at men's full.
Trying to decide which method to go for. So many different ways of doing this bowl that we've seen already. It's just up to him to decide what he thinks is best for him and works for his body and his climbing.
Tomoa Narasaki back in action. I mean, watching Yoshiyuki cruise through that and then seeing Tomoa struggle on that, you realise how strong Yoshiyuki is.
Yeah, such a, like, on that style, I would put him as the best in the world, I think, on those big pinches. And he's the king of the one-arm swing on a pinch.
So men's one isn't being climbed on at the end of that rotation. We are at the end of that rotation. So we start to lose boulders and athletes here. Now, Anže turns his body to the left, pressing upwards. We know that this under bicep move is probably the easiest way to do this, or certainly the most successful, but he makes it stick the other way.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see where that puts him. He has a top in his zone so far, so that makes him 2 tops and 3 zones. It's in the shout of the final, but it will depend on the number of attempts.
Yeah, he's in 3rd at the moment.
Yeah, that puts him into 3rd place. That's a really strong finish. He's still in the danger zone with some strong athletes yet to come, but he is definitely in with a shot. And again, coming in really quick with that right hand.
A quick snatch into it, makes it stick. Looks up towards the top of the wall and just takes a moment to wave goodbye. He's done all he can do, and Yannick is not getting close to the top yet. Tomoe Narasaki, well, we know how hard that M3 is.
So Yannick secured the zone on his 6th attempt, so quite a lot of goes to that on that first tricky move.
Could it be a case, I mean, we've had 20 athletes through, is friction going to start to be less good? Could that be the factor?
Yeah, or it's so hard coming out late. The friction on the holds get worse, they get dirtier as people brush in between their attempts, but the chalk still builds up. The mats are getting chalkier, so it's harder to keep your shoes clean. The venue starts to heat up and there's more people in it. It's such little things that make a difference. And then maybe it's just the pressure of coming out and knowing that boulders have been topped and seeing people top boulders. Like, that can put such expectation on you to, why am I not doing this? Like, I watched him do it earlier. Like, it's so hard to compartmentalize that and still perform your best.
It's a sport that's like, it's so simple in concept, and there's so many different factors that play a part in how the athlete performs.
Yeah, it's every time I compete, I find one more thing that I didn't realise was a factor. The challenge, and why it's so impressive that the people who consistently make finals are so consistent, is that you're trying to control all of those variables at the same time, and there's some stuff that you just can't control. So to be good enough to push through it, or to find ways of influencing everything you can positively, is so, yeah, I mean, that's the challenge. That's why it takes so many years to get good. Unless you're Medjdi, in which case, yeah, come and smash it on your first year.
Yes, unless you're a prodigy, and then it's completely different.
But you see people at this end of the round spending a lot more time crushing the boulders, just because we were talking about with the friction getting worse. At the beginning, it looked like there were a few people who weren't brushing boulders at all, and they looked like they got plenty of friction. But now towards the end, after 20 athletes have had 100 goes, then they've got a lot worse.
Well, there's a man who has to find something now. He's left himself a lot to do in this second half of his semi-final. He's on the hardest boulder here. He needs a zone out of this.
Yeah, it looks like the very minimum for finals right now is looking like 2 tops and 3 zones in low attempts. There are currently 5 people with that score, and Manu out ahead with 3 tops.
Look at this, and Kokoro getting high pressing, cruising through this. Oh, little pop there. See how dirty that volume is. He literally created a clean area by slipping.
It looks like once you really get into that slot, it's done, and he's so happy with that. That's 2 tops from 2 boulders. Great start to his round.
Yeah, I don't think he's engaged his top gear yet. He's just in cruise mode.
Saving it for finals, I think.
Yeah. So, a contender for that gold medal.
In my book, he's the favourite right now. Kokoro is definitely, he's had a lot of really strong semi-final performances this year, but I believe he's yet to secure a win. So he'll be looking for that first gold medal this year in 2021. And at the World Championships, that's the time to do it.
It is,
You're going to make it happen.
Look at that, casual as you like. No real effort from him.
Yeah, it seems like that crimp is blocked, so you have to go in slowly to the one before the top. But once you get in and you get secure, then that top move isn't too strenuous.
Well, we saw him do heroics in lens 3. See what Nishuki can do here. He uses the drop down. Oh.
Just sliding off that hold. That would be skin intensive to slide like that.
Skin, oh.
Yeah, that
nasty.
That cheetah texture down there. Proper course.
So he put some liquid chalk on. 2 athletes left out. Medjdi needs to find something special if he wants to go forward.
Yeah, it's really interesting about Yoshiyuki is he normally uses liquid chalk in between every attempt when he like to try and get extra friction. He's using that Friction Lab secret stuff. There, you can see down the mat in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. He'll be going through that at quite the rate, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Bathtubs full of that stuff.
All competition climbers bathe in liquid chalk. It's the secret.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that. It's nice. I'll put some in the hotel. That's how I die. Drowning in a bath of liquid
extremely
chalk.
crusty.
Oh, jeez. The images I've got in my head right now. So, Mejdi brushes the slopers up high. He's got a
Sorry,
minute 20. Apologies, YouTube. We'll try to pull this back. Yoshiyuki now, big up at the right.
So nice. That flick into the palm to get you up above it is really cool.
Chalking up. He's rushing a bit, but he has got time. I think he was just... It suddenly looks like he's...
And now he's done that move, he'll be wanting to get the top on this go. He won't want to have to try and get through that again.
I have a feeling he might know that this is tricky, and he'll want to give himself the opportunity to have another go if he drops this.
Yeah, so he's brought a chalk bag with him, but it looks like it's almost holding him back. He doesn't want to move because he doesn't want to leave the secure position. Such a challenge of a boulder when you can stop and relax.
He's really rushing on that. It just looks suddenly all over the place.
He has got enough time for one more go, but he will have to rush this time if he wants to make the top.
Right, so fascinating last 30 seconds for him. Drops down and drops it. He'll go again. He will go again.
Yeah, 21 seconds for the top. This was one of the most impressive tops this year.
I think he's got to call it. Oh, he's going. Is he going in? He's going again.
Well, last boulder. I respect the tenacity.
Oh, yeah. That'll be the end. Okay, that's it for this round. Clock counts down. Nearing the end here. Yannick Floet is coming on to M3. See a replay of that again. Just not quite finding it. Dropping down, back, forth, spinning, running back. Action-packed last minute. Mejdi, in the meanwhile, I don't think he got the zone. We'll just check that. Not on the top 6 at the moment. So Hamish MacArthur is slowly being bumped down. He'll be getting nervous. Alexi as well. Nimrod finally moves from that top spot. Manu Kornu way up high in first position at the moment. Mejdi did not get the zone on that third boulder.
Yeah, Tamara on number 4 right now. This is the sort of move that he's famous for. The big jumps, the big dynamic, multi-stage coordination moves. Not making it work this time.
No, but he is going for it, isn't he? He's seen it, spotted it.
Yeah. He doesn't always flash it, but he'll dial it in. The learning in between every attempt is I think, what really sets him apart.
And is it a sort of an active learning, or is it more of a muscle memory thing? Oh, there you go, just gets it straight. All right, doesn't really matter what it is, he's done it.
I think the first go, you can sort of get a feel for where the positions of the holds are and how good stuff is, and you'll know how to move your body to get on the holds in a way you wouldn't have known from the ground. Just eyeing up this match. Looks like he's going. Oh,
the elbow. Look, he's pressing the elbow into the volume to keep himself in.
So good. And that's 3 tops for Tomoe. It looks like we'll see him in tonight's final.
Yeah, and I think he'll move to the top, and he does, yeah, at the top of the leaderboard. So he'll jump over Manu Cornwall and Marcus. That is the top. Watch that elbow. And yeah, see, look, only he doesn't press it down. Oh, maybe he does press it down. Hang on. Let's wait and see. Yeah, there you go. Look, just pressing the top of his arm in. So, Yannick Floet.
Oh, almost holding that zone pinch.
Will it count as a zone?
He's out there on his own now. All the pressure on him.
Yeah, it must feel lonely. I mean, do you enjoy that kind of feeling when all eyes are on you, or does it feel a bit exposing?
I very rarely qualify first, so I don't know.
We'll set it up for you.
That's the mark of the athlete, right? Somebody who, when the pressure's on, in those big moments, can pull it out of the bag. And I think Yannick, this is the sort of bowler that he'll really excel on. So yeah. I think he'll be loving the crowd on him. I think he's a bit of a showman.
Yeah, I have to admit, I'm one of those climbers. If people are watching, I tend to step it up a little bit.
Yeah, there's always the people who, as soon as the camera comes out, they can send.
Yeah.
2 types of climber.
Exactly, there really are. I'm the showy-offy one. Except I can't really show off, that's the problem. I want to.
Yeah, I think people will struggle to get to this point in their their sort of athletic progression and their career as a competition climber without sort of loving that spotlight and thriving when the pressure's on.
Yeah, for sure.
These people they're all the best in their nations. They're all national champions. Everybody here is the best in their country, and then they come together to the best in the world. And that's where you really settle who the best is.
Yeah, it's a good point. They've been competing for years, haven't they? I mean, if they're not used to it by now, there's a bit of a problem. So Yannick just brushes his shoes. He's got a minute and a half.
Yeah, so actually I noticed Yannick didn't have a towel down on the floor to clean his shoes on boulder number 2, and on such a tenuous, like, foot-intensive boulder, where it really relies on the friction between your foot and the holds. That's really important, but he has got one now. So I wonder if he forgot that for boulder number 2, or he acquired it out the back.
Another hotel missing their towels, perhaps. He goes into the intermediate and the slap. He was looking good on this, came close to sticking this pinch.
Such a powerful. And he's so good. He's almost pinching through that terrible sloper to try and get some inward pull on that move. He's trying so hard.
Could be a speed the first.
We've seen this move so few times. Not quite sticking it. That hole pulls you to the left, and it like pulls you up and away off that pinch. It almost looks like you do want to flip that, like Yoshiyuki was trying.
So not there yet, and he needs the top. He's way down the order at the moment.
Yeah, he's got zones on the previous 2 boulders, so if he can make the top on the next 2, on number 3 and number 4, then he's in with a shot of finals. But with 22 seconds on the clock, this is going to be a pretty rushed finish.
Yeah, it's a big ask, isn't it?
Especially after he put a lot in on that previous attempt, so he's going to be tired.
So 12 seconds. No, that's not going to be, and that won't be a finals for him. Disappointing. He'll leave, but he's got one more chance just to show us how good he is on men's 4.
Yeah, remember, these guys don't know the results, so they don't know what they need to make finals. So he'll come out to the final boulder with the same focus as the previous 3. It's so hard if you've had a disappointing start to the round to bring it together and finish on the last boulder. But that can make the difference. So many times one top can be enough to make the final, especially with 4 zones. It won't be enough this time, but he doesn't know that.
Kokoro now out in 7th at the moment. I mean, the form he's in, if I had to bet that someone's going to do this, he'd probably be up there.
Well, he's our last athlete out to try and give it a go, so if we want to see a top on this boulder, it's going to have to be him.
Come on, mate, get it done. Let's see. And Mejdi is struggling so far. Just 1 top for him, missing the zone twice.
Yeah, unfortunately, because he's not got the zones required, even if he tops this boulder, it doesn't look like he'll make the final.
So the crowd goes silent, focusing on these athletes out there. Tension ramping up in the last few moments of this competition. Big slap up to the sloper, matches it. Easily gets the left up at the moment. When you see that camera angle of how slopey that hold is with the hands, you just think, well, what's that man got in his skin?
That
means
is
he can do that.
one of the worst holds you can put on a wall, I think. Have it on that angle and do such a move off it. That's hard.
Ooh, the music gets tense in the background. 2 athletes on stage.
Yeah,
everyone
so
focusing.
Kokoro secures this zone or the zone of the next boulder, then he will be through to the final, which will bump Hamish MacArthur out of 6th place. So I'm sure Hamish is down there sweating. As Mejdi sticks the jump.
Yeah, just gets a little toe out to stop him for a second.
Such a nice move when it's done nicely.
Now moves his body weight to the left, or tries to. It's awkward, this.
It looks like if you get that guppy in over the top of the zone, you can get yourself stood up. But if you stay low like this, it's really hard to get up above it.
Turns pressing, now he gets it, locks
press
it
with
in.
the left hand.
Got to commit now, no going back. And stand up high. Looking for the jump. Oh, and a slip from Mejdi, sends him down.
And on the right.
We'll see a replay of
that. Replay is his slip. One hand on the finish, but never quite got there.
There in the background is. Right.
On the last move. But with that zone, I believe that puts Kokoro in the final, which means that our final is now set. Unofficially, of course.
Of course.
that does unfortunately knock Hamish out of the final into 7th place. But what a performance from him in his first senior international.
Yeah, he's going to be proud of that, isn't he?
He'll have been gunning for the final, but 7th place is pretty good for your first time out.
Yeah, he will be gutted, won't he? But, I mean, he'll sit back and reflect on that and think, wow. Of course, there are appeal processes that happen, so this is not official. This is just us making predictions of what we're seeing currently with the scores. He needs to watch that left foot this time.
He looks like he's more securely on that hold now with his left, so that shouldn't be a problem. But can he get his weight across for the match?
He thinks about using the top of the volume. There are screw holds there. We've seen others do.
Oh, both hands at the same time.
Popping in. He'll have probably another go. That'll be about it.
Yeah, enough time for one more. It's not that physical of a boulder. It's much more technical, apart from this top match. So he shouldn't be too fatigued, but to sort of to recover the mental headspace after that is going to be the more difficult challenge.
Yeah, you can see so close to it, screaming, but always coming down.
Eyes closed, head back. Don't need to see if you're just squeezing really hard.
Okoro now comes out, he matches.
This will probably be one of our last attempts of luck. Just flicks off backwards. He tried, so Yoshiyuki tried to flip halfway through the jump. He tried to turn first, so he was undercutting that pitch. It looks like he's decided not to give it another go.
Meiji has 30 seconds.
Plenty of time to top this boulder. Support going wild.
Using a screw hold. Oh, that's it for him. So Meiji, he's an up-and-comer. He will improve and improve. Keep an eye out him for next year. And there is Paul Gempt. He'll be in the lead competition tomorrow.
Such a strong field coming up for the French in the youth. They look like they've really got their development processes right, and they've got a lot of people coming through that are going to be talents in the future. I think Meiji's just the first wave of that we're going to see.
So that is our top 6 as it stands, and we think that will be how it stands. So could be our finalist. Yannick Floet is out.
Alexi down there in 6th place, looking like he's going to compete in front of the home crowd.
I do want to see him get through at this point.
What an experience that'll be for him. And I think it will really ramp up the atmosphere in the stadium tonight.
I completely agree. And that is happening 5 to 6 Moscow time, so 5 to 5 Central European time. I had to really think about that. Just work out what time zone we're in.
Yeah. No, it should be prime time for most of the world, so hopefully you guys can join us for the final.
Do. So Yannick now with a big fling out to the right. Got plenty of time, 4 minutes, and the only athlete out.
He really is on his own this time. Not even anyone for the start. All eyes on him. He's playing for pride at this point, trying to just finish out this round with the top.
Although he doesn't see the scores, he'll be aware that he probably hasn't done enough at this stage.
Yeah, it's tough when you're coming out and you're seeing people top bowlers, and he goes with a hand. I think that's the first person we've seen make that work.
Resetters are just celebrating somewhere, like, that was the way.
No, so I think they did want the toe. That's why that's there. But it's such a long way to the arms. It's so hard to get out there with any tension to hold the final position. But making this move up into the zone looked quite easy. No hesitation.
Yeah, and he now comes into this technical section before a big physical match. He's got one hand on it. That's the easy part. Now you got to get the other.
Easy's a very strong word.
Yes, well, you know what I mean. Easy, world-class easy.
And just with that left foot going, it looked like as he was moving around up there, he just wiggled that left foot off of the hold somewhat. Looked like he just to keep that focus. You can see because he didn't take a chalk bag, he just sort of cracked on, whereas Yoshiyuki spending a time in that stable position, chalking up, it gives you the opportunity to take that time, but is that a positive or a negative?
Yeah, that's very true, and he was almost got in his own head in that moment earlier on, just chalking up, trying something, chalking up.
I would say it's probably beneficial to spend your time resting on the ground, because no matter how stable a position feels on the wall, you're still getting more tired.
Especially with how bad these holes are. So Yannick puts his towel on the floor, one last brush.
He looks like he's going to try that way with the right hand out into the white X-cut again.
Coach is watching on.
anxiously, I'm sure.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Because you're not allowed to help, in that area. You can't shout beta and support. It would be cheating or whatever. But, you've put everything into training these athletes. Everything. And then you have to sit back and just let them do it. At least if you're a football manager, right, you can shout things. You can get involved. There's a half-time talk. They just have to watch.
Yeah, the coaches can do whatever they think is best to prepare the athlete, but when they get out there on the mats, it's all them. Oh. And you just can't let them go. I'm sure it's how parents feel.
Mine let me go a long time ago. About 6, just wash the hands. Go, just go.
Off you go.
Just go.
That's what it's like in England.
Yeah. Savage out there.
Yeah.
So Yannick trying this launching method. We've seen lots of different ways of this.
Yeah, coming out to the right there is really powerful. You have to swing on that left hand for a really long time, so actually it's a more fatiguing way of doing it probably than the toe hook method. You really have to have the power in the left hand to get enough time on it to get out right. Made it work that time.
Yeah, searching for that right hand, wasn't he? Just looking down as he latched it. Guppy move in, twists his body, and now
pressed up.
Final section. 40 seconds.
And up that finish again. He's really making sure that left foot isn't going to slip this time. Spent a little bit more focus on it. Just lets his hips come out as he's going for the move.
Yeah, he knows, and he will be done. So good effort from Yannick. Not enough for the finals here this afternoon. Applauded by his coach there, who is always 100% behind her athletes. And this was the catch, just looking down at that hand and then turned away at the last moment when knew he got it.
Vision and how you move your eye line is so important on a move like that. You need to sort of spy the next hold, but then as soon as you know you're going to get there, you need to start looking at the next section. So he'll have been looking at that left hand as he jumped, and then turned his attention to the right hand once he knew that was secure.
So final athlete, we've done 20, Alex. We're here. This is
it. Like it was just yesterday. We were starting with Nimrod, and he came out and we thought the boulders were going to be too easy.
Yeah.
As it is looking like Nimrod is going to be in the final.
Yeah, which is good to see.
Yeah, he's been sat there sweating for a long time, but
he's currently joint third, but that man there will have something to say about it when he climbs.
Taking a lot of time, putting a lot of attention on cleaning those holds, especially that terrible sloper that we've seen a lot of people sliding off. It'll be interesting to see what method he goes for. Looked like a lot of people in the later half of this round have gone for the more dynamic method rather than jumping down into the sloper.
Pro pulls on, makes his way. Oh, a big slip there. You can see the mark left on the wall. Takes his chalk bag off.
You can see just from that fall how dirty the mats are.
Yeah.
Shorts and vest all covered in chalk. That's on the athlete's shoes as well. You can see he doesn't have a towel for this.
Yeah, he's going to brush it, look. It almost looked like he was looking for see if that was a possible stretch there. He was kind of measuring the distance with his arms.
Yeah, it's quite often difficult to see how far the distance is between the holds from the ground. I know you're right up there on the boulder mats with them, but it's hard to tell actually how big it is going to be once you start jumping around.
Yeah. Trying a much more controlled method of going across that.
Yeah, quite often with these jumps, you want to control the initial part of the jump so you're moving in the right trajectory when you get there. It's like he's not quite getting that right foot in the right place, and it's just sliding off. It's hard for the jump. The second part of that jump.
Goes back and brushes it once more. I mean, he's done enough to get into the finals. He won't know that, of course, but...
So looking across and seeing people top this boulder and at least get in the zone, he'll be aware that he should probably be topping this at this point in the round. He won't know that he's made the final. Still all to play for, even though we think that he's in the final so far.
Yeah, Tomoe Narasaki in first at the moment.
How often have you seen that? Not the first time.
Exactly. Right, what can he do? 2:20 on the clock. Comes out, slowly starting to dial it in, but it's he's got a slightly less explosive way of coming across at the moment. maybe too controlled.
Yeah, almost
perhaps.
like it looks like he's not giving it quite enough pizzazz to give it full beans there.
That's the most British phrase I've ever heard. That is incredible. But he just sticks it this time. Doesn't.
So he switched his beat around then, rather than trying to go right hand to the white X cod like Yannick was. He went for the left palm and right hand onto the volume above. He knows that works now. Just catching that toe, really nice. Such a nice move when it works. I do like that.
Yeah, beautiful flowy moves, dancing his way across. Now guppies and turns his body and presses to stand up.
Seems like as soon as people do that move the first time, then they get it most times after that. It really does seem like a learned thing or finding the right way of doing it. So he'll be looking to get this top on this go, but I think he's got one of him if he doesn't. Screw hole.
Yeah, just palming up, trying to find the right positions. You are really around the corner as well. It's quite hard to get your body around that volume.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to be stood up on top of that left foothold, but there's so much pressure through it, he can't move it up onto the top. So he's relying on it being on the side and really clawing in rightwards, and it slips.
Big top, he smiles, but he will be annoyed about that. 50 seconds left.
It's enough time for one more go, but he thinks he should have topped it there, I think.
Thundering down onto the mats there. That slow motion, maybe making it less a bit more violent than it was. Slow motion shots always have that effect.
He's lined up 24 seconds. He's left it pretty late for his final go of the semi-final. Our final climber. 17 seconds.
He's still slow here, 10 seconds.
10 seconds, he's really taking his time. I think he might have left it just right if he moves well on the top. So he stands straight onto the top of that left foot so he can push down through it. Doesn't get up in time.
Slightly out.
I think if it had just a bit more time, he would have made that work. He looked pretty good on that top section, but just had to rush with the time running out.
Well, that is the end of our semi-final here in Moscow. We'll just get confirmation of the results as they stand at the moment. And there they are. Tomoe Narasaki in first place, Manu Kornu in second, Kokoro Fuji in third, Nimrod Marcus fourth, Andrzej Pahat in fifth, and Alexei Rubtsov from the seat representing CFR in sixth. So, Alex, thank you so much.
Thoroughly enjoyed.
I enjoyed that too,
That was
mate.
good.
That was good.
I like talking about climbing. Climbing's one of my favourite bits.
Yeah,
turns out.
It's almost like you're professional
climber.
For a climber. Well, thank you for joining us here in Moscow. We'll be back this evening, 5 to 6 Moscow time for the finals. It's going to be exciting. Don't miss a second of the action. We'll check out some replays at the moment. We're going to sign off. Have a wonderful afternoon, everyone watching, and we will see you very soon.
Cheers.